I felt like my heart was being tugged in two places because Sean Payton, in my eyes, is a winner, but Russ is like worse than a loser. So
The
like,
guy's been to 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl.
no, yeah, I mean that was
Mike's
when he
just
was on
getting
Seattle.
tugged
That's when he was on
getting
Seattle.
tugged everywhere.
No, that's when
Dude, you and
he's
Deshaun Watson would be
Mike's
great friends.
heart is
No,
being
look,
shaken
look,
up right now.
look.
Shake weights and tugs.
Russ- Russ was fine when he was in Seattle, and then he had a little midlife crisis. He realized that he was like sharing his life with Future. He's a loser.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to yet another episode of Degen Hours, episode 6. My name is Tyler, and I'm back with all the guys, Tate, Ryan, Mike, and Mario. This week we have a very special episode planned, something I know we've all been anticipating greatly. We are doing our NFL win total special. We're going to be going through every single NFL team and their current line that Vegas has for their expected wins. We're going to be telling you whether or not we think it's over or under after we go through everything. We haven't talked about it together.
Nope.
So
It's going to be exciting.
We've been saving it for live on the podcast. After we talk about everything, we're going to see if we're unanimous on any of them and give those out at the end of the show as our best bets. So the ones we're 5-0 on, those are the ones we're going to be hammering, and also going to show the ones we're 4-1 on, which are the Degen Hours strong leans.
I have a weird feeling none of us we're not going to be 5-0. I have a weird feeling.
Really?
Not one
I have a
5-0.
weird feeling. Not a single one?
No, but maybe 2. Maybe just. We'll talk about it later. Maybe just like 2, but I feel like it's not going to be a lot.
I think we'll have 5-0. My guess is on
I say 2.
4 lines. That's my guess. We'll give an over-under on how many 5-0s we have.
Okay, live number. What are we thinking?
I think 4.5.
Under 2.5. The line's 2.5.
Give me the over on that.
2.5.
I can't. You guys can't bet it because I'm going to go.
Do 3.5.
under.
3.5.
No, I can't bet it because I could just say.
Regardless,
I'm gonna take the under, whatever.
It's going to be an
I'm on the
exciting
under.
episode. Before we get into all the action, I want to tell you how you can get involved from home. We are quickly approaching NFL season, which means only one thing. Lots and lots and lots of bets. I mean,
And money.
we're going to be firing it off. We're going to be talking about it every week. And the way you can get involved is something pretty innovative here. We call the subscriber picks parlay. What it is, every week, we're going to give you our mortal locks. The best bet that each of us think out of our entire card is a mortal lock. We are going to give 5 live on the show at the end of the show. Put $50 on it, parlay them all together, and calculate live and give you the odds as to what that would pay. If all 5 of those hits, Tate, what are we going to do?
We're going to pay you.
We're just going to give it away. A $50 bet on the subscriber picks parlay. Usually we'll pay around $1,400, $1,500, 5 ways, or on a 5-team parlay. That's going to go to 1 subscriber. All you have to do to get involved, like, comment, subscribe. The earlier you do so, everyone who's been liking, commenting, subscribing so far, you will have greater weight on those initial parlays. We're going to raffle it off, and we're going to give out that money to 1 person. So get ahead of the game before we start making the picks. Go ahead, click that subscribe button, leave us a comment at the end of the episode. Let us know what you think about our takes, and you could just be taking home some money.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Do it. Yeah, come on.
Some crazy things happened this past week in sports, some more unfortunate than others. The first thing I want to head off this current news and update segment is the United States women's national team lost in the round of 16.
Embarrassing.
It's the first time ever we have not gotten at least 3rd place.
Yeah, that's tough.
Funny.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Quick funny story about that. So today's Tuesday when we're filming. I was at work today, and my Colombian coworker came in, and the Colombia versus Jamaica game was on. And, of course, Colombia won 1-0. And she looks at me, and she goes, haha, we made it past the U.S. And I go, oh.
It's depressing.
Oh, yeah. So this hurts all of us.
Yeah, no.
This
But is it
really hurts
surprising?
all of
It might be
us.
depressing, but is it surprising after watching them?
I wasn't surprised in
dance
the
and
slightest.
laugh? Yeah, literally.
It
kinda
seems
true.
like we were talking about this with running backs the other day, but like when you pay running backs, they don't play as well. Like there's less incentive. Like when you're not paid that much, you're like grinding to get the money. We gave them
Too much
the keys
money.
to the castle, and they just went ahead and
they burned the castle down.
They didn't even try. I mean, the few notes I had on this was, did you guys see Megan Rapinoe laughing as she missed the?
Yeah.
Same thing as what happened after they tied.
If she had scored that penalty, we would have advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you ever
and-
seen like?
And she just didn't even. I was just shocked that no one hit the frame. Like
it's-
you're shooting from 12 yards away and you can't even get it on the goal. Like you're skying it over to the right.
And you're putting your team on your chest, or your like country on your chest, and you're laughing at the fact.
Well, have you ever
Well,
seen?
they hate the U.S.
Have
so,
you ever
I
seen
mean,
Kobe
Well,
or
I actually like-
Jordan laugh after missing like a game winner or
No.
like a free throw?
Well, I
Like,
mean,
I don't know.
Go ahead, say it, Mario, say it.
you're comparing Megan Rapinoe to Michael Jordan.
Dude, that's how some
Yeah.
people looked at her as like Miss America and like all this like.
not
I'm not
people's
saying
she's never-
brains.
I'm not saying me, but I don't know. It seemed pretty ridiculous.
No,
She's definitely been the most outspoken.
Yeah.
As far as
She's
like
the face of the team.
I wouldn't say that, but she's definitely been as far as social justice. Sure, I could give you that. She's always been the most outspoken in terms of like
Yeah.
anything social justice, but she's never really been like the U.S.'s best player.
Sure, I didn't say she's her
And-
best player, but like she on
But
like,
she's held up. She is like a veteran, and you would expect a little bit more from a
Been in the
leader.
headlines
on
in
all
every-
their
every
media
news,
on like the
yeah.
women's
It was just the
soccer.
lack of leadership
you-
with this squad was really embarrassing. Like we saw it when they celebrated, Portugal. I think they had a shot in like the 92nd minute that could have, I think,
Ended
prevented us from getting out of group stage. And Portugal hit the post, and we barely survived that game. And then our team's filming TikToks and
Laughing.
And
Dancing.
a former U.S. women's national player was a commentator, Carrie Lloyd. She went off on the team, but
That was
it was, you could just see from early on, even from the first game against Vietnam, which was a pick I gave out. In past years, we would have won that game 10-0.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we
Easily.
won 3-0, and I watched like a little bit of the game, maybe like toward like the last 20 minutes. I caught the end of it, but it was just like we were just
Take the money
complete
away.
arrogance, like we weren't taking it serious. We just were walking out thinking, "Oh, we're the United States. We're going to be better if we just walk on the field." And we didn't actually show any grit, any heart, and it was very disappointing
Take
because
the money away. I'm
Yep.
pissed.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
pissed. I'm not like trying to
Yeah, I mean, it's-
sugarcoat it.
I mean,
It's fucking bullshit. Like
the win or the goal total for that first game against Vietnam for our team was 6
and
I
a
think,
half.
or 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they scored 4 the entire tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's-
embarrassment.
pretty crazy.
Take the money away from 'em.
Makes the U.S. look pretty ridiculous on the world stage, to be honest. But
Yeah,
couple
and
more.
then they fight for equal pay with a.
Well, it's
all right.
if you're winning golds, I don't think anyone's really going to be complaining. But
When you do
group-
this, we're
if you
allowed
get
to
but
out,
when you
about it.
don't try,
well, yeah, round of
like,
16 is
you
ridiculous.
literally don't try.
2 more things I want to touch on. Jake Paul goes 10 rounds with Nate Diaz,
Dog.
and he just pieced him up.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
want-
good.
Yeah, we didn't have any bets on that last week, but I did make a bet right before the fight on the over for the rounds because I was like, "There's no way Nate Diaz gets knocked out." That binked. I know I didn't give it on the podcast, so no one really cares, but I was happy watching the
That was a
fight.
good fight.
Pretty interesting to see Jake Paul beat a bunch of these fighters that we grew up watching.
Yeah, but Nate Diaz has also never really been a boxer.
Yeah.
Per se.
This thing.
Hey, they're going to 10 million.
He's
I mean,
10 million.
Jake's 4-0 against MMA fighters and 0-1 against actual boxers.
But he's going to
So-
MMA, so that'll be fun to see it first.
Well, yeah,
He's
apparently,
going to get
apparently
murdered.
they're going to run it back
That's not
with
good.
MMA.
I'm interested in seeing how that goes.
He's going to get killed in MMA.
I think he's
But-
going to get killed as well. Just a fun fact before we talk about the MMA stuff about this fight. A crazy fact I didn't know until today was this was the second most bet fight behind Davis Garcia
for
And
boxing.
for boxing.
For boxing?
For boxing.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Wow.
That's
This was
crazy.
the second most.
I think what that really tells you is that there are more and more degenerates now than ever. This was
Very
by no
true.
means one of the biggest
Very true.
ticketed
And also,
fights.
By
this,
name.
this
Like-
social influencer
your
kind of
name?
boxing
Yeah.
is kind of actually taking like a serious kind of like they're selling out pay-per-views like real boxers do, you know?
It was a
So-
great fight. That was the most entertaining, one of the most entertaining fights. I've
Yeah,
seen
shout out
all
to
year.
It
Nate
was-
Diaz.
yeah.
not
I saw
getting
a
knocked
tweet earlier today that said Nate Diaz doesn't ever lose. He just, it was something like he never loses. He just gets beat by time, like by lack of time or something like that.
I don't
And
know,
I was
he
like,
lo-
that's,
he-
I was like, that's
No,
very
he
funny.
was-
He lost that
That's
one.
very funny.
Jake was messing with him.
Yeah.
It is boxing. So
And the last thing I wanted to touch on before we get fully into the win total special is that the NFL team's depth charts first got released early last week after the first week of camp.
Unofficial depth charts.
Unofficial. It's the first cut.
I mean, it's really the smart way.
we took a look at the Falcons just to see what their
let's
depth
let
chart
Mike
was
I'm
guess.
like.
gonna
What's
throw
going
this-
on?
Let's
the
let Mike
Falcons
guess.
depth chart,
Let's let
Tyler.
Mike guess. Who was
No,
first,
I
Mike?
looked at the stupid mother. I looked at the depth chart.
Bijan Robinson
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Can I say it?
Yeah,
He's
sure.
ranked as the RB3 on the Falcons depth
Finally,
chart,
people understand.
behind Cordarrelle and
Yep.
Tyler Algier.
Yep,
You know
Mike.
what I think it is?
What do you have to say about
I
that?
think they're playing 40 chess. I think they're faking everyone. They're like, oh yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson's still our RB1. Everyone's going to game plan against the Falcons as if Cordarrelle
Yeah.
was like their RB1.
A lot
Just
of game
forget
planning-
about Bijan.
A lot of game planning
And then
against Cordarrelle.
Yeah, I
Bang!
know. You said how,
Bang,
you
right
said how
when
good
Bijan
Cordarrelle
comes out
Patterson
there.
was in the last podcast, so they'd be a lot of.
Bijan will undoubtedly be the RB1.
Yeah,
we
I mean,
think.
We'll see.
This
We'll
depth
see what
chart,
happens.
personally,
Yeah,
it means
murder
nothing.
It'll
see
be
what
60-40
Yeah,
without
it means
Algier.
literally nothing.
we will definitely touch on the Falcons,
His
but
fantasy ranking has
if-
dropped to number 7.
if we don't
Hey,
speed
close
this
it.
Get out of
up,
the top
if we don't
12.
speed this up, it's gonna be a 5-hour podcast.
Give it
So
to me.
for you, the
All right,
viewers,
that's fine.
let's jump right into it. We are kicking off the NFL over/under win total special
Kickoff.
with the AFC divisions. We're gonna go division by division, just easy way to group the teams, and talk about what Vegas currently has the line at, where we see each team's win total going. Just something to note, these are the current win total odds that will shift as people start betting on them. So say a line is 10.5 right now, you could probably find some books with 9.5, and you might even find some with maybe above, like an 11 or an 11.5. The odds will be different though. So say the 9.5 line is -110, you might get a 8.5 number, but just like a much bigger favorite, like a -150, and you might get like an 11.5 number at plus money. So these are just kind of what we are seeing currently, and that's what we're going to talk about. But keep in mind, these numbers will shift. So if you hear a take you really like, but you want to wait for the line to move, totally reasonable to do that. We're going to get it kicked off with the AFC East, starting at the top of the division with the Jets. The Jets' current total win projection is 9.5 at -120. Last season, they went 7-10. Tate, what do you think the Jets will do this season? Are you going over or under on this
I
number?
have the under. I have them going 9-8.
Really?
Yes.
So a close under, but not like a hammer under.
A close under. I definitely like the under. I'm not going to be hammering it. So, but yes, they are going under this year.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I think this is an easy over. I think their team is stacked, and they won 7 games last year with just I had no idea what offense you were going to get each week. And I think they only got better in Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he might not be performing as well as he used to, but he's still Aaron Rodgers.
He's still there, yeah.
And he's still going to be a stud. Like, there's nothing to see there. They have great coaching, great defense. I think this will be easy. I think they go win 11 to 13 games.
I was gonna just ask, like, what's your number for that?
Yeah, I would say I would love 11 wins. I looked at their schedule and doing the like just loss, not even think about it. I only found 8 losses. Like, oh, loss. But like that was without me saying, oh, they could easily beat the Bills. Well, they could easily sweep with the Dolphins. So I like the over.
Okay, I'm on the exact opposite side of Ryan. I'm going to join Tate, but take it a little more extreme. I'm going under, and this is a very bettable number for me. I have them, after looking at their schedule, winning 7 or 8 games. The Jets last season were 7-10. I love Aaron Rodgers. I respect everything he's done in the NFL, but I think they stay right around that number or get 1 extra win this season. I know they've improved
Everything.
Yeah.
from the outside perspective, but there is something to say about this still being the Jets. Let's not forget that the Jets don't win things, and they are in a
like the
division
Browns.
that is not particularly easy with the Bills and the Dolphins.
true.
So I have them as my 3rd team in the division, and I'm going under on this number.
I had a very difficult time choosing an over-under, but I'm going to go slightly over at like 10-ish wins. They have the 7th hardest schedule in the NFL this year.
Yeah, that's not easy at all.
Definitely not looking very great. But a strange stat that I found is they have 12 extra rest days than most of the average NFL teams that they play. I think rest plays a lot into how a team performs and, playing to the full capacity of their potential. I'm going to give them a barely over.
Give Rodgers a little extra time to do some ayahuasca or something.
Exactly. He needs to take a few mental trips.
Yeah, all right, got you. So Mario, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with Tate. I see them getting better, obviously. I don't think it's a huge jump. kind of like what Tyler said. They won 7 games last year. I think they win around 8 or 9. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if they win 10 games because Aaron Rodgers is that good. But I just think, judging off of last season, there was a significant decrease in Aaron Rodgers' performance. And I know, obviously, I think a lot of that was attributed to he didn't really want to be in Green Bay and he had no receivers. So I think he will be better than, obviously, last season. But I just don't think it's the big jump that people think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And another thing, at least for me, I have them starting 1-5. Yeah, I do have that loss to the Broncos. But, I mean, they're playing the Eagles, 49ers, Bills. Those are really tough games to start off. And I just think on a young team, Chiefs, Cowboys, it's tough, dude, for a young team to start off with that many losses. Like, an experienced team maybe can, grit together and kind of bounce back because they've done it before.
Yeah.
I just don't know if this team has that, mental toughness to really believe. Because all this team knows, the people that are there, all they know is losing.
Yeah.
So it's if you start off, we got Aaron Rodgers, then we start off 1-5. It's okay, and then you might win and lose. I don't know. It's tough. I think they do make a run in the second half of the season, but I think they run out of time by half a game.
I think their week 1 might be a closer sweat than people think.
I mean, people forget they started off 5-1 last year, playing the 12th hardest schedule in the year. So they're going from 12th to 7th. And they started 5-1. So I think that people are very sleeping on.
I think they're playing harder teams, but
the one thing I do just want to note, their week 1 game, I think, will be a big tell for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
They play the Bills week 1. Bills are favored by a point.
But we all watch Aaron Rodgers week one. He's never there week 1.
That's true.
And he always goes, I'm just towing.
But the Bills,
but that was on the
Bills may
Packers.
not have Von Miller week 1 also.
Von Miller's pretty old, but
Yeah, he's
Also, it's
old,
week
but he's
1,
also
like,
young.
Week 1.
Bills lose the game.
It doesn't
Jets lose
really-
the game.
yeah.
Nobody cares.
I
It's
feel
not
like
look.
I do think though I get that week 1 no one cares, but I feel like these early games for teams that could go either way, I think are huge. Like
Yeah.
if they go in there and they stomp on the Bills,
Yeah.
like
That
they go in
sets
there
the
week
tone for
1,
the season.
Aaron Rodgers, you got Sauce Gardner, you got everyone feeling good. Garrett Wilson goes for 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. Rodgers looks great. They win by 3 touchdowns. Like they are going to legitimately go back in the locker room and be like, we can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's how. And so I don't know. I think I am on the under here, but this is one of those. I'm going to be betting it big, but I'm happy to lose if I see Aaron Rodgers just killing it.
I will be betting this
It's a
very
win-win.
lightly.
Yeah.
I'm not betting this
I'm not
hard.
gonna hammer
I'm
this,
not hammering this.
they're just
Because I do think they have the pieces to win
so
10 games.
stacked.
So this is kind of how I figured we'd be on this Jets line. I think it's
2
pretty,
overs,
I think it's
3
pretty
unders,
well
yeah.
placed. Yeah, 2 and
Yeah.
3. Moving on to the best team in the division, the Bills. Their number is at 10.5 at a pretty heavy favorite at around -135. Last season they were 13-3 with obviously 1 game that wasn't completed. But I'll go ahead and start here. I think this is an easy over at 10.5. This is a hammer play for me. The Bills, building off of me not thinking the Jets are going to win that many games, the Bills are going to crush them. They're so good at every position. I'm not the biggest Josh Allen. I think he's a top 2-3 quarterback guy, but Josh Allen's for sure top 10 QB. They have Stephon Diggs, top 5 receiver, good defense, good coach, tough home field to play at, especially when it gets towards the winter. I mean, they're not going 3 games under where they won last year. No shot at all. So this is easy over for me.
I just feel like that is so much hypocrisy after you went this big rant about how this is Josh Allen's year to be exposed on how he's not a good quarterback. And if that's true, how are they supposed to win 13, 14 games or whatever you're saying that he's going to win?
I'm not sure you heard what I just said. I think Josh Allen is, as you can go back and pull up, I said he is fringe top 7 for sure, top 10 quarterback. He's still in the top 10 in the league. He's not a bad quarterback. And also, this team really doesn't need excellent quarterback play, especially not when they have all of these other fantastic positions and really good coaching. So, I don't know. This is easy over for me. Mike, I'm assuming you might be contesting that?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to go under. Honestly, not doubting the strength of their personnel.
Wow.
They have the fourth hardest schedule this year, and I just think it's going to be it's a really tough road.
You know what they
ahead.
had last year?
What?
First hardest schedule in all the league.
13 wins.
13 wins.
Okay.
Gut feel.
All right, gut
I'm going
feel under Mario.
Yeah, I have an over. I don't think it's a crazy hammer over. This one I will be betting. Like the Jets line, I'm not touching.
Yeah.
Because I think it's too close. This, I think the Bills more than likely do go over here. One thing though is I'm not big on. You were talking about their personnel. I'm not big on their running backs. Like I really do think they're very weak at that position. Obviously, Josh Allen could do both, but you can only run so much as a QB, especially like the way he runs. He's not like a Lamar Jackson where he's like very zippy. He's like running, hitting, taking a lot of contact.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of James Cook, and unless they bring in a running back, that would change my mind completely. Then I think they shoot way, way over.
Yeah.
I think this is like
That
probably
Damien
like
Harris,
11
too.
wins. They probably get it by like half a win. I think
Okay.
they do take a slight step down just because I do think Josh Allen is regressing as QB.
Okay, so 2 wins or 2 overs and under, Ryan.
This is an absolute hammer.
Yes.
I mean, this is a joke.
Over.
And they are so dominant, this team. People always sleep on Josh Allen and say what you want to say about the team. The team's defense is stacked. People don't realize that they weren't even healthy last year, and they were that good, winning 13 wins. And also, they split with their division.
Yeah.
Like at worst, they're gonna go 3-3 in my opinion. Like they're never gonna. So if we're all agreeing they're never gonna go worse than 3-3, that's what they did last year. They lost one of the Jets and they lost one of the Dolphins. And you're telling me they're not gonna win more than 10.5 games when they won 13 last year? This is a just pound hammer. Just so easy to me.
We're
Crush
not
this guy.
often on the same side, but
Crush
we
it.
are on this one.
Love that.
hammer.
This, if not the best over under, it's one of the top 3 best over unders. It's going to be a hammer over for the Bills.
Wow.
But
So we're
I'm
four-
going 13-4.
4 and 1 to
overs
the
and-
over, and Michael is the only one contesting.
Hey, I stand by it.
Even
Gut feel.
after
Gut
being
feel.
all over the Josh Allen train. All right, the
I-
Dolphins, 9.5.
This is Mike's
wins.
boy.
Yeah,
This is my
your
boy.
team right here. 9.5 wins. This is actually you're getting plus 105, so pretty even split on this one. Mario, how do you feel about this Dolphins number?
Ooh, it's a tricky one, dude. I'm gonna go under, but this is I feel like this line is very similar to the Jets line. I do think the Dolphins are underrated defensively, and obviously offensively. I mean, Tua was on a roll last season before he got injured.
Yep.
For me, it's just one of those things. I'm right now leaning towards the under, just because it's one of those things where like sometimes teams can just catch, like you get in a rhythm, you have your moment, and I don't know, like, are the Dolphins really legit, or was that just kind of like they were just firing on all cylinders?
Yeah.
And now, like with all the stopping and now they're starting a new season again, are they going to be that same team? And it's like they have questionable positions or questionable personnel at the running back position.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops.
We'll see how that develops. Obviously, they have the
Given.
rookie, and then Mostert and Jeff Wilson are kind of washed. So I'm leaning towards the under, but this is one like if Tua can pick up where he is last season, this is a team that not kidding could win the division.
Smoke this over.
Could win this division and smoke this over completely.
Okay, so you're.
But
you
I'm
are
leaning.
going-
But I'm going under right now.
You're
I'm
under,
being
okay.
precautious. Yeah.
Mike,
I wonder what
you're
Mike's
Tua.
versus is.
This has got to be an over.
Barely over. I'm
Wow.
sprinkling.
Wow.
I am sprinkle,
drizzle.
sprinkle.
A light
like
drizzle.
a single droplet.
Okay. Just one drop.
You're just seasoning.
I mean,
a little-
Just like yeah.
Yeah,
little
no.
salt
They have
seasoning.
peppering it.
they have a ridiculously difficult schedule. Their last 4 weeks are the Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills.
yeah.
I mean that makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
Third hardest schedule.
Yeah.
This division did not get
it's-
the easy draw.
No.
of schedule this
No,
year.
not at all. With that being said, again, I'm going barely over because I'm trying to be whatever you said, precautious. Otherwise, I'd say hammer it, but barely over, I believe.
You being precautious, Mike.
Well, that's not
I'm
very often.
precarious.
Where did you read that? You read it in one of
You're
your articles?
precarious and precautious.
One of his books?
Precariously precautious.
You might be precocious.
Well, it's actually an article.
Need a
But
pee-pee?
Mike read it in an article.
pretentious
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Philosopher? Pretentious philosopher?
I'm right with Mario here. This one is an under for me. I think it's close. I really did want to go over here because I like everything they're doing. I don't dislike Tua at all.
Yeah.
But
I love Mike McDaniel.
I just don't love this team. I don't know why. Just something about the Dolphins. Whenever I look at them, nothing screams at me.
They're a
like-
hard team to fully buy into.
Yeah, I went through their whole schedule. I gave them 9 wins, so I think they're like a maybe wild card team. I have a lot of teams at 9 wins in the AFC this year. I'm going maybe wild card, but under on the 9.5.
Yeah, opposite there. I'm gonna have to bet this over, and It also is very tough to factor in the Tua situation. Like he literally gets touched week 1 and he's out for the year. But you got to bet with the team they have right now. And if Tua plays, this offense is the scariest.
Dynamic.
Like, anyone can argue the scariest in the league, and it's not really an argument. Like they could put up 40 on anyone. And
Yes.
Always favors. 2, good luck throwing to their defenders. Good luck throwing against Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey. People are forgetting that they got Jalen Ramsey.
Isn't he out though for like most of the season?
Yeah, but I'm saying like, I thought it was only like six games.
I heard it could be till like December.
Oh really?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well
I'm pretty sure it's till December.
Well, regardless, I don't. I'm on their offense. I bet on offenses, and I think their defense is actually
their defense is slept on
because they have
significantly.
injuries. But regardless, Ramsey comes back and gets some extra games. But anyways, I think this over. They were the best team in their division before Tua got hurt on that Thursday night against the Bengals. They had 2 games up on the Bills, and they beat the Bills in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I love this over. I think they go in the division, and I have 3 teams in that division winning 10 or more games.
Wow. Not a lot of wins for the rest of the AFC.
Yeah, wow.
Tate?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be on the wrong side of this, and I guess to his health, I'm just gonna count on him being healthy. I have him winning 11 games. I think
I love
this team
that.
is
I like that.
super solid.
Yeah.
They can win football games. I don't know why you'd even doubt it. I mean, like gut feel or whatever. I have them winning 11 games. The Dolphins are a great football squad. I think they can.
Again, it's banking on Tua's health is like
Even right now,
Even
It's
healthy,
just scary. With
healthy
their squad
Tua,
they
I
have,
see
yeah.
9. I don't know. Maybe
healthy
I'm
Tua is
reading
first.
no healthy Tua is
We'll
a good.
We'll see what happens. So I think we're split 3 and 2 there. But a couple people were pretty heavy on the over, and me and Mario were just barely on the under. So that's like not a hammer play, but it's like a lean play.
Yeah.
a wobble.
Yeah. Last team in the AFC East.
Last but not least.
Yeah. The Patriots 7.5 wins. You're getting plus money on that because everyone knows what side you should bet.
Yep.
This is under and big under. Their quarterback sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, Mac Jones is the
terrible.
worst. He's terrible. He's awful.
He can't play.
I want nothing to do with the Patriots this year. Their division has brutal scheduling, and
the hardest schedule in the NFL.
they are
Exactly.
not going to win
By a
many
lot,
games.
too.
If this number was 5.5, I'd still be tempted to bet the under. So I don't think they have anything to do anywhere near the 7.5 number. I'm going way under.
Yeah, I saw maybe like being kind 3 wins. Like, I'm not even joking.
No, that's
like
why
it was like
have-
it was like
I had 5 wins.
it was like
but
they have Commanders at home, and I'm like, yeah, I'll give them the win, but they can easily lose.
It's like if
against
Sam
them.
Howell has a day.
Literally, I was
Like,
like 3 of them.
They're bad.
So I was like, that defense is still young and solid.
No, the
And
defense is actually
and their
kind of
and
good.
their offense is actually very young. So my thought process is, do you go for Caleb Williams?
That's
this year?
yeah.
I was going to bring that up when you're
I
done.
think that you take, if you are in like the 2-7 range, which I believe they'll be to start the season, take the Caleb Williams route. Have Belichick have another stud quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if
Could be the move.
Belichick gets Caleb Williams, it's like Popovich, like about to retire, then they draft Wembanyama.
yeah.
He resigns.
If Belichick gets Caleb Williams, he's going to make Jacoby Myers and Juju Smith-Schuster look like Hall of Fame.
But this is one of my favorite unders. Heavy.
Yeah.
bet.
Tate?
I have them going 3 and 14. I mean, this team is not going to win 7 or 8 games. There's just no way.
I have a feeling of the sentiment here.
I had
Go
5.
ahead, Mike.
I had
5 wins. Mario?
Yeah, I was being generous, but I had 5 wins.
There's the one.
So,
First,
Hammer,
Hammer.
put it on the card.
Yeah.
first unanimous bet will be the Patriots under 7.5.
Rolls
Wow,
off the tongue. You know?
there actually might be a few more. If this is the first division, and we
Well, that's what I'm
already
saying.
have one,
First division.
could've been
Dang.
wrong.
We already
I
have a
could've been
5 and 0. Moving on to my personal favorite division, the AFC North, where the Pittsburgh Steelers play Ryan and I's favorite team. We're going to kick it off with the Ravens. Their number is 9.5, but this is minus 150. So I'm sure you can also find numbers around 10, 10.5 at more even money. I'll go ahead and kick it off here. I have this as an over on the 9.5 number, but barely, and I gave them exactly 10 wins. So if this number was 10.5, I'd be taking the under. Wow. I think 10 wins is right where they land. This team is a very good football team. They're going to be in the playoffs 100%. I think they're a lock for the wild card, and I really, really like what they did at the wide receiver position this year. Odell looks really good from the early videos we're seeing. Mm-hmm. Apparently, like their entire team, whether it's Bateman or Flowers, like everyone looks like they're playing well. I think healthy J.K. Dobbins, healthy Mark Andrews, healthy Odell and wide receiving core, this offense might be one of the most electric in the NFL this season. Look for Lamar Jackson to have a pretty good year as well. and I think it's just a 10-win season. I don't think they're not a Chiefs challenger. I don't think this is a team that blows out the regular season. They might be maybe in the playoffs. I'm talking regular season. Like for like the 1 seed in the AFC, that's not where I have the Ravens, but I think they're like the 5 seed, like the number 1 wild card. And I don't have them winning division because we'll get in that later. But Ryan, where do you have the Ravens?
I'm hammering this bet. I mean,
Yep.
I understand. Once again, it's like the Tua thing. I'm not ever banking on someone getting hurt.
Yep.
If Lamar plays this whole year, this team is one of the scariest teams in the NFL. Their defense is always raw and underrated. They're always finished tops, like anywhere from the 5 to 7 range, like every rating, points per game defense. Their offense is just unbelievable. People don't understand, they won 10 games last year with half the year of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like
Tyler Huntley at QB.
10 games.
He was balling.
They hit the number with the backup for half the season.
He was balling a little.
Not even, they scored 12.
He could move the
They
ball.
scored 12 points a game with Tyler Huntley. But anyways, literally the 10 wins with
He moves.
10 wins with
And
the
a
backup.
good coach, too.
A great
John
coach,
Harbaugh's a
and
great
in the
coach.
playoffs, playing one of the best teams, the AFC Bengals, they should have won the game with no Lamar Jackson still.
That was a weird game.
They only had the ball on the inch line. To win
Wasn't that the
game.
one they fumbled
Yeah,
and returned for
Jefferson.
99
But
yards?
anyways, I just
You know
think
Joe had to get the win.
this number is so ridiculous to me. Lamar is one of the best winning quarterbacks we've seen in the past decade of football, and I just think he's gonna get.
I don't know about that.
That's it.
Maybe in the
That's a
regular
stat.
season. Maybe in the regular season. Yeah.
Well, the winning is total games. You guys
Well,
are just-
some games are
you guys
bigger.
just
than
make
others.
up
well-
shit.
Tate, how do you feel?
I have the Ravens winning 11 games, losing 6, and 6 is generous. Like I gave them losses
Yep.
that I don't think they're gonna
Yep.
lose, so this is an easy over. For
Okay,
me.
Mike, sounds like you're agreeing.
I am way over. I have if they beat the Bengals, I think they go like 12-1, maybe 11-2 before their week 13 bye.
Oh,
I mean, I think they can literally crush this over
No,
before their
agree.
bye
They
week.
can, yeah.
They play easy. They play
Yeah,
the
destroy
AFC
the
South
over.
and then-
Literally, nuke the over.
okay. So you're a huge over, Mario.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet this over as well.
Wow. Back to back 5-0.
I had same as Tate. I had them 11-6, and that 6 losses. I felt like I was kind of giving teams that like just being like
I know.
kind of
Oh,
conservative
so
and like, oh, maybe they lose this game.
Yeah,
so-
like I had them losing like in Cleveland, like just to split.
Oh,
in
they're
Cleveland,
losing in
and then losing to the Chargers in LA. Like, but I still don't think they'll lose that. those
yeah,
games.
I think
They won 10. They hit this number
Yeah.
with a backup. This is so
yeah.
funny.
I love this over.
Well, another unanimous 5-0 on the over, so that would be on our hammer
2.5
card.
looking terrible.
I don't know how happy I am about that. I only had them winning 10, but I'll ride with the gang. DJ Nauer's undefeated.
This is a hammer.
Next team, the Bengals. Their line is at 11.5. This is actually plus money right now, so you're getting plus 125, which means the Vegas equilibrium number is probably around that like 11.25, just above 11. Mario, I know you're a big Joe Burrow guy. How are we feeling here?
I'm hammering this over.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah,
That's why I started
Of
with
course.
you.
It's Joe Burrow MVP season. You guys know what it is.
Okay.
Listen, I think last season when they started off slow, I think I've mentioned this before, but I think that was kind of like coming off the Super Bowl high and then kind of getting their footing back, and then some significant players get injured, like Jamar Chase, and I don't know. I felt like they couldn't really find their rhythm, and they ended up still having a pretty good season.
12 wins.
Yeah, 12 wins. It's
Yeah.
like I think this season they're all dialed in. I think this is the season that they come out and they win like 13, 14 games. They win the
Wow.
division.
Even with the Jamar Chase comment, where it's like, we know we're just here for the playoffs, Joe Burrow. If you want to stay on the sideline until week 7. We
I
don't
heard
care.
that. I heard
It was till week. It was about week 1. He's not going to be out till week
No, no,
7.
Jamar Chase, though.
He's not, but Jamar Chase is basically just saying like,
No,
hey,
I know. But
take your time.
But the comment was like, initially he's like, oh, I don't want Joe to play week 1 if he's not 100%. He's like, I don't care, like week 7. Like
Sure.
he just threw that off kind of,
Yeah.
like it wasn't like,
That's like a
wait
mentality,
till, it wasn't
week
like
to
wait till week 7 because we think you're going to be out. Like it was just kind of like for reference. He was trying to make a point. I think Joe is probably going to start the season. If not, start week 2. Either way, I mean,
Big over
I
for you.
love this over.
Yeah, Mike.
This is another sprinkle bet for me, but I'm going to go the over. They have a tough second half of the season. They have back-to-back weeks against the Chiefs and the Bills. I think that's obviously going to be a dark spot for him.
He owns those 2 quarterbacks.
Does he own Mahomes?
It's still.
I mean, 3-1, and the only loss was in the AFC Championship.
biggest game.
Regardless, tough games.
In a close game.
San Francisco.
It's
and
a
Buffalo,
sprinkle
but
for me. Sorry, San Francisco, Buffalo. They play
Oh,
the Chiefs.
San
They play the
Francisco.
Chiefs somewhere.
It's even better.
They play the Chiefs somewhere in there,
They do,
and
they do.
yeah. I mean, I
end
think
of
they
the
have a
season.
tough schedule, and I'm gonna go barely over.
Okay, this is easy under for me. I have them going 9 or 10 wins and being in the wild card as well as the Ravens. I like the Bengals this year. Like, no bad comments about the Bengals. I just like a 10-win season is good. They can win 11 games, which I think is even a really good season, and that's the under here. This number being the same as the Chiefs was weird to me. They're not as good as the Chiefs. They're really not. And Joe Burrow is unbelievable. He is hurt, though, and I think this team goes through a weird kind of, I don't know, I have a weird feeling about how they mature as a team this year. Joe Mixon's being like really overlooked, and it would just be interesting to me if they start out losing a couple games to see how this team reacts. I don't see them winning anywhere near 13 games, which is like what Mario said. I have them 9 or 10, so this is pretty easy under for me.
Yeah, this is a murder under for me, like hammer under. They have 10 games this year against teams that were over 500 last year,
You and
which
Ty
is
are
just
sharing
absurd.
your brain.
What?
You and Ty are sharing your brain tonight.
It's been
That's
on and off. But
that's
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, it normally works
when
pretty
we're
well.
when we're aligned, that shit slaps.
Yeah, anyways, before Michael's comments, the greatest.
Sorry.
But I'm going to hammer this under. They barely hit this number last year with an absolute crush division. Like, the Ravens had, second half of the year, had no one. Steelers were terrible, and the Browns were just awful.
Yeah.
This year, I think every one of those teams got better. Like,
Agreed.
Really?
which one got, like, how did they get worse?
I just was asking, really?
But you said it was, you didn't say really, you went, really?
Yeah.
It's the way
well,
you
anyways,
said it.
regardless, Steelers got better. They all got better. The Ravens got better, and the Browns got better. But yeah, I just think this. I mean, it's just hard to improve when your entire division gets better. So, and I'm not huge on the Bengals this year. So
Under Tate.
and under. I have them winning. I have them going 9 and 8, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if they won 12 games. This team is definitely capable of it, but I have them at winning 9 games. So easy
Okay.
under, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, I also think it's an easy under. It's always, I'm always a little wary when the over is plus money, especially like plus 125, and it's less than they won last year. It's almost like they want people to look at them winning 12 games last year and then look at the new lines 11.5 and like, oh, and I get plus money. It's kind of makes me pause, and yeah, so I like the under here. Browns 9.5. This is also plus money at plus 115. Tate, how are we feeling about the Browns?
Yeah, I have them winning 7 games.
Ooh.
Same as
I mean,
last season.
they're in the division with. I mean, they could lose. You know, I mean, I think the Steelers are better this year. I'm really not on the Deshaun Watson train, so
Same.
I'm gonna go with the under here. I think the Ravens will beat them both games, and Cincinnati will beat them both games.
Interesting.
yeah, I agree with your Deshaun Watson take that I don't think he's the way he was, but I'm gonna go over here simply on the fact because one, people sleep on that defense. That defense is so good, and two, you don't have to have a great quarterback when you have an offensive line and a running game like that. Every year, the Browns, when they've had Nick Chubb, it's just been insane. I'm not going to hammer this bet, but I could easily. They won 7 games last year with Jacoby Brissett half the season and like injuries winding up. I think Deshaun does enough to get the 10, but it'll be a sprinkle.
I love that you picked the over because we are dialed today. This is my bet to win the division. I gave it out in our division winners episode.
God.
I think so. I have them at 10 or 11 wins. So I think they have a good chance to win the divisions. I have the Ravens at 10 wins, and I have the Bengals at 9 or 10 wins. So I think they're right in the mix to win the division. You're getting them at plus a bunch of money. And yeah, I just love, that being said, I love the over 9.5. I mean, Ryan made a great point there. Their running game, Deshaun Watson doesn't have to be great for them to move the ball, control the pace of the game, and score points on teams with one of the best offensive lines in football and arguably the best pure runner in football in Nick Chubb. But I actually think Deshaun Watson is really good this year. He utilizes Amari Cooper unbelievably. What's up?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson's going to take that starting job.
No, he's not.
Yeah, mark my words.
Yeah, we'll mark that down.
That would
But
be the greatest.
he's
clip ever.
not going to take
my
his job.
Yeah.
Deshaun
DTR is not
UCLA
good.
Bruin, baby.
DTR
Before
is
the end
not
of the
good.
season, DTR will be starting.
DTR is not.
He'll have a
I
start.
love that.
He'll have
DTR
a
is not-
start. He'll have
DTR
a
is not
start.
good.
0% chance of that happening. Deshaun Watson will reclaim
20
his
to 1.
throne as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. This is an over, and I love it.
I think I was just live convinced by Ryan to go over. I also
I do that to be fair.
don't believe in Deshaun, but you're right. Their defense is solid. Their offensive line is great, and they have Nick Chubb. So over.
Over 9.5. Mario.
I have them winning 8 games and going under.
Okay.
I think they're a good team. I think Watson is going to be, I don't know,
Average.
better than what we saw at the end of last season.
He has to be better than what we saw last season.
Yeah. like,
I say that every year.
well, I guess what I mean by that is people saw that and people were like, oh, he's washed and like he can't play. I was like, no, that's a really bad like sample size. Like I think that was like a hard time to step in. I think he's going to be better. I don't know, something about this team. I'm just not convinced. It's one of those things I have to see it for myself.
It doesn't pop off the page, the Browns. You know what I mean? It's all
Yeah.
like,
And 9.5's kind of big.
no,
Yeah,
no.
that is.
Like
And
having
I
them-
think that's a huge number.
huge.
it's the same number as the Ravens.
That's why I like the sprinkle here. I don't like touching this bet that much. Just the sprinkle.
And for some reason, I guess unlike the Bengals being plus money, like I still love the Bengals, but this being plus money, it made me go like, oh, maybe they just want people to bet this
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
because like, oh, Deshaun Watson, like, I don't know. I'm staying away. I have them winning 8 games.
Okay.
It's fair.
So I think we're split 3 and 2 on that one. The Steelers, I'll go ahead and start. Your number's at 8.5. It's also a big favorite. It's minus 150. So I could see this number at the beginning of the season moving to like 9.
It'll easily go now.
But while it's at 8.5, go ahead and do yourself a favor.
Hammer it.
Withdraw all the money you have
Yes.
and put it on Mike Tomlin not having a losing
This is
season.
not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but it is gambling.
Oh yeah, gambling advice. Okay.
This Mike Tomlin in his tenure with the Steelers has never gone under 500.
Until now.
That's a great.
We'll
way of
see what
living your
happens.
life.
But I like riding the trends, and I also think if Kenny Pickett is passable, if he's even passable this year,
If
we
it's a big
really
if.
could. I think we can make.
But he wasn't last year, and they did it. So
No, he was terrible
We
last
got
year,
very lucky
and we were
last
still 9 wins. If
Very
he's
lucky, but
decent this year, with the way our team built out the defense, bringing in Patrick Peterson, our secondary is disgusting.
or everything.
And we still have T.J. Watt, best defender in the NFL, on the D line. I mean, defensive
One
player
of-
of the year,
one of the best.
tied the all-time sack record
Past
last
3
year.
years, I would say.
Yeah,
Donald's
our
been better.
defense stacked. Our coach, one of the best in the NFL, like top 3 coach in the NFL. And our wide receivers are young but growing. Deontay could step up. Pickens looks great. Najee still third year running back out of Alabama. It was like, I don't know. This team has all the makings of a team that could really make a run if the quarterback position is solid, which I don't believe it is, unfortunately. But that, I think we still get 9 wins and could maybe be a wild card. So I have 9.
No, yeah, this is easy bet. It's just the Mike Tomlin bet. When you see a coach that doesn't lose, you bet the over. I really love how they dived into offensive line for blocking for Kenny Pickett. I hate when teams draft a quarterback and then don't do anything about it. Like Bengals did it to start, the Bills did it to start. They don't build offensive line. We went for a first rounder offensive line from Georgia. We then got the tight end from Georgia.
Darnell Washington, yeah.
Washington. So like we built 2 guys that are just better blockers because it's what's killing us last year. I think Najee runs all over it, helps Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett like doesn't have to do all the work this year. I think this is an easy.
Yeah, apparently Darnell Washington's like bigger than the entire offensive
I
line.
love
They say
that.
he's like a solid 6'7", like offense. Like that
Him
is
and Freiermuth.
that is scary. Yeah,
That is
Beautiful.
Tate.
You could talk about the team and how they've improved or whatever all you want, but I'm betting here on Mike Tomlin. So
Over?
yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, we're not gonna get.
Yeah, this is my
consensus.
anti-Mike Tomlin bet. I can't wait to see these two shut up about him. He's going under. This is his year to be a loser. He's going to be a loser and grave forever under.
I love that.
He's getting
bet.
like 5 wins.
It's like the TCU bet from last year.
You say
keep-
5 wins?
5 wins.
How much money do you want to
No,
bet they get
no,
more than
no,
7 wins? I'll give you 2 above your number.
No.
Anything you want.
No.
I'll give you odds.
No.
I'll give you 5 to 1.
No, I
What?
can
5 to 1.
7 over 7 wins.
No, on his 5 number. I'll give him 5
Oh, I
to
thought
1.
you said
On 7
7.
wins, I'll give you 3 to 1.
3 to
No.
1. 7 wins.
No.
If you think they're gonna go under, it's only by
No,
1 game.
no.
So
Gut
this-
feel
this shows you the confidence in the plays, but that's fine.
Gut feel under Mike Tomlin sucks.
Mario,
Yeah, they should have gone under last season. They got really lucky.
Yep.
Barely hit that 9 number. I'm not a big Steelers supporter, and I do think they're going to go under, which is why I'm going to bet the over.
let's go.
This had me big bang booming because last
4
year
and 1 on the over.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I hope they go under because I should have won that bet last season, and I'm really pissed. So I'm going to bet this over, but like very lightly, so that way when it misses, I can shit on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So, and if they do go over, then I make money. So
No, I
either way,
love
it's a
it.
win-win.
I love that you did that because that puts it at a 4 and 1, which means it will be on the official DGen card.
Yep.
Mike, suck it. You can sit out. We had
Suck it.
we had consensus on the Ravens and a 4 and 1 on the Steelers.
Yeah, if you're smart, you don't follow that Steelers
It is
bet,
decent.
but all right.
You
It
follow.
is decent.
You follow
You
the bet.
don't-
It's
you
just
don't follow that.
the AFC West has had a couple shakeups this year, most notably
Shake 'em up.
with what's. Whoa! Can we get a slow-mo replay on what Mike just did? I don't know. Just throw it up right here. I'm pretty convinced that might have not looked like what he intended it to be. Maybe he did intend it to.
Like a shake weight. Like
How do you,
again.
what are those?
No,
What's
do
the
a shake
shake
weight.
weight? What's the
Show
shake
us the
weight?
shake weight, Mike.
Go
Go
ahead.
Shake them up.
Get a little workout going.
Shake him up.
Go ahead. You
Shake
want
'em
to
up.
show it again?
Shake him
No.
up, Mike.
All right. Either way, the shakeup happened most notably with the Broncos. They got Sean Payton at head coach. Russell Wilson, maybe not trash. Maybe he is. Who knows? Mario. The number's at 8.5. You're getting even money on this bet.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is over.
Okay.
There's an interesting graphic. I don't have the exact like specific stats, but it was every quarterback the year before they've played with Sean Payton, and then their first year with Sean Payton, and they literally improved in every single category as far as like completion percentage, their win rate, touchdowns, yards, like everything.
Okay.
I think Russell Wilson.
Offensive coach.
That's all you need.
Yeah, offensive coach. They have a ton of weapons, and Sean Payton has experience working with a quarterback that similar stature. Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's like 5'10". Drew Brees was like 5'11". So he knows how to work with like a short quarterback and just get the ball out of his hands quick.
Is
I
this
think,
Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
and I think that was one of my biggest issues with Russ was last season. My neighbor is like a huge Broncos fan, so sometimes I tune in. He just holds the ball way too much. And I think that's going to be...
He's still in Seattle.
He thinks he's in Seattle, and he doesn't have the athletic ability anymore. I think Sean Payton's going to grind that out of him. He's a guy who is not going to mess around. You hear reports about last season may have been the worst coaching job ever.
Yeah.
That's what Sean Payton said.
Put a lot of targets
I agree.
on his back.
Yeah, no, he did, but I think he wouldn't do that if he wasn't confident in the team.
Back it up,
And this team has a great defense, one of the best corners, if not the best corner
Young
in the
corner
game.
in the game for sure, I would say.
Yeah.
Heck, and Patrick Surtain.
Well, I mean, him and Sauce.
That guy's a dog.
So I love this over.
What's your number? You think like 10 wins for him?
Yeah, 10 wins.
Okay. Mike.
this one was tough for me because I felt like my heart was being tugged in two places. Because Sean Payton, in my eyes, is a winner, but Russ is like worse than a loser. So
The
like,
guy's been to 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl.
no, yeah, I mean that was
Mike's
when he
just
was on
getting
Seattle.
tugged
That's when he was on
Getting
Seattle.
tugged everywhere.
No, that's
Dude,
when
you and Deshaun Watson would be
Mike-
great
Mike's
friends.
heart is
No,
being
look,
shaken
look,
up right now.
look.
Shake weights and tugs.
Russ-
on the
Weights and
road.
tugs.
Russ was fine when he was in Seattle, and then he had a little midlife crisis. He realized that he was like sharing his wife with Future. He's a loser.
That's tough.
Like Sean Payton is great. He's a winner,
Mike
but
just makes so many
there-
enemies on the show.
well,
No.
but there's
Austin
just
Eckler
like
hates you.
I
That's what-
respect that take.
no,
with the
but you
future
know
thing.
exactly, and
I respect
so you
that.
know, as much as Sean Payton's a winner, you can't change a loser. So
That's a bar.
you know, I
That's a bar.
have them at 7
Future
wins.
should write that in his next
Keep
song.
that in mind when Mike's giving you picks.
Bang, 7 wins under.
Think about it.
Under.
Or no.
Yeah, I love what Mike said there about Future and Russell Wilson. I do think Russell Wilson goes and looks out of the defense, sees a bunch of Futures just staring back at him, just knowing that he owns him. But regardless, this number 8.5 when they won 5 games last year, and their main change was just the coach. I get it. Sean Payton helps you. I don't think it's a 3-win help. That's a pretty big change for this team, especially in this division with the Chiefs and the Chargers. AFC, brutal conference.
That second team, what was it? The Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a tough division. Chargers have a projected win
There's
total.
only really one team in that division. But.
Chargers have a projected win total higher than the Broncos.
No, they do.
So
They do.
all I'm saying is I don't think they have necessarily the easiest route to get this over 500 on the season, and I'm going under. I still don't think Russell Wilson's very good. So under.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over on this one. Just I looked at their schedule. They played 10 games this year with teams under 500 records from last year. I think they got really lucky with their schedule this year. They also got better, especially offensively. They never had a healthy piece. It was always like Chudy was out or Sutton was out.
Tim Patrick out for the year.
Javonte Williams was out. Now I think everything's coming together for Russell Wilson. And I really like the Sean Payton idea where like that defense needs no help. The offense just needed a ton of help. And I think that'll be fixed. I think 8.5. I'm not going to crush this, but 9 to 10 wins, I can easily see. So I like it.
Okay.
No, I absolutely love this over. I mean, I think the Broncos are just going to come out absolutely blazing. People are
Tate
going
is
to be
on
like,
the Broncos.
people are going to be like, what happened? I mean, that was the most abysmal offense to watch last year. Russell Wilson was painful.
Yeah,
I had like
bad.
pains watching him play football.
Yeah,
Because he's a loser.
But that defense
is so good.
is I mean, they kept them in games that they could have actually won, but Russell Wilson was so if he's any better, and we know that he's a good quarterback, like he's not. Okay, he can be a good quarterback.
Yeah,
and he's been a good quarterback, and I think Sean Payton's gonna actually.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be top 10. Like he literally just needs to be like a top 20 quarterback. Like he was like literally
to win 9 games.
with that team. Like, dude, there was so many like
100%.
watching so many Broncos games last season.
I mean, they're gonna
was insane. There was like I forget how many games this happened where I would watch, and the game would literally be like 10-10 for like in the first quarter, and then just be 10-10 for the rest of the game, and the other team would be trying to give the win to the Broncos, and Russell Wilson would just be like holding onto the ball for like 8 seconds, sack. I just think like even his like win, was it like Thursday night or something where he had the funny interview, like that was a win. Like pretty much the way they won that game was how the Broncos lost the majority of their games, where it was like the team was trying to give it away to the Broncos, and the Broncos just wouldn't do anything offensively. And like, I don't know. I just see a ton of those.
Real quick, how many wins do you have? Because you were all over them. You love this over.
Yeah, how many wins did the Broncos get?
Yeah, how many?
If you're crushing it, how many wins?
I have him at winning 10 games, maybe 11.
Okay.
I had 10.
I thought you were gonna like. We're
I had
gonna throw
9
like
to 10, but
Broncos gonna
I
beat
have
them.
I'm leaning towards 10.
No, but I think
I'm giving
they'll
him 6.
split with the Chiefs this year.
I'm giving them
I
6.
think they'll win a game with it. I think they'll beat the
All right.
They almost did last year.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the Chiefs then.
Oh,
The Chiefs,
gosh.
Oh yeah.
their numbers at 11.5 minus 125, so you don't have to give up too much juice on that.
Should we just get this out of the way?
Yeah,
Last year-
don't even think. Just
Last year they were 14-3. Are we?
Yeah,
you think
we're
we're all in the same?
consensus.
You think we're all in the
It's
over?
only Mario.
Yeah, we're
It's only-
What do you mean?
You over?
Well, Mario, go ahead and kick it off.
No, I just.
All right, we can all say it at the same
Over.
time. Ready? 3, 2,
1,
1.
under.
Over.
See, I knew it. I knew at the same time.
Guy's
I'm
such a
so
piece
sharp.
of-
When you're sharp, you know it.
guys, a
All right,
piece of
Go, you
work.
go first.
I think it's like stealing candy from a
Guys
baby.
suck.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mario, go ahead.
No, it's an over.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to mess with you.
All right, we got
Give
3,
you a
5,
little
and O's on the board.
Bang.
There we go.
Yeah.
Over 2.5.
Don't scare me like that.
Easy
3 divisions in a
over.
row.
Easy over.
They're,
Mario rips the over. No, don't even think about it.
I have them winning
Clickbait.
13 games, so I don't know. Like, it's not like they're getting way past it, but they're getting like game and a half.
They're
We
getting
had-
past
you,
it
you
enough.
know, you just take whatever you're making money right now. You take your next paycheck, put it on the Chiefs to win the division,
This
and
is
also get
Mahomes
them
can win with literally
and
anybody.
over under win total, and then you just forget the bet even happened, and
Yeah.
in 17 weeks you'll be like, wow, I just made.
We
whatever.
gave this line in particular out as one of our best bets.
Yeah.
A couple, I think it was like 4 episodes
Hell
ago.
no.
This is one of those lines where Vegas. We had good reasoning there, so I just want to bring it back. Vegas can't set these lines too high because if something happens where Mahomes is out for like say like a month or 3 games or something, it's just
crushed.
It's crushed on like so they have to put it at a reasonable amount. But this is one of those where you have to capitalize. There's a couple lines that are super low that I think the inverse where they can't give like the Cardinals like 1 or 2 wins and everyone just bets the over when they win their first 2 games. It's the bet's over. But yeah, Chiefs over is. I'm happy we're unanimous on it
Yeah.
because that needs to be
Easy money.
an all-in bet.
Yeah.
The Raiders, a lot of different lines coming out for the Raiders. The one we have here is 6.5 at plus 110. I saw a 5.5 number.
5.5.
Yeah.
I saw a 5.5 at minus like 140 or something.
minus 120.
Yeah, minus, and then I saw a 6.5 at plus 110. This line opened at 7.5. So it's gone down significantly. People are betting the under on this.
Yeah.
But one of the early teams that their lines moved a lot. They won 6 games last year. So Tate, how do you feel about this one?
Mucho under.
Yeah.
Big time.
I have them winning 4 games.
Ryan's
Yeah.
got something different though. I could just
I
see it on
hate
his face.
the Raiders are bad.
Okay, Ryan.
It is very contingent on things. I know there's a lot of different says about Adams and rumors about where he's going, if he's going somewhere else. Jacobs, if he's going to get a deal done. If those two play, I think their type of game parallels like San Fran a lot, where like just run the ball, have your quarterback do very little with a good weapons, and have your defense take over. Which your defense is actually very good. Like Crosby has led that defense to come back. They were so bad like 3 years ago, and he's came and done a great job. I have this being over. I don't think it's gonna be a crazy bet, but I just think Jimmy G knows how to win game. If Devontae and Jacobs are there, that offense would do just as well as they did.
How many wins do you give the Raiders?
I have 7, so I'll be betting both. If it's 5.5, I'll take the -150.
Okay.
And then 6.5, I'll take.
So you got it barely over. Yeah, I'm with Tate here. This is an under for me, and I know they have good individual players. Like Crosby is really good. And they have Devontae Adams, who's all world, Josh Jacobs, who's a very talented running back.
They just seemingly can't do anything right.
No, the Raiders really messed up getting rid of Gruden, and I know that a lot of stuff came along with that, with the emails, whatever. I'm sure every coach has emails from 10 years ago, but Gruden felt like he was like the spirit of that team. Like he was the Raiders. Like he was so into it, and ever since, like they were not terrible, and when they fired him, they've just been bad
Downhill.
since then. Like they've just been really bad. They lost Derek Carr. I don't think many people think Garoppolo's an upgrade from Derek Carr. I mean, neither of them are that fantastic, but yeah, I don't know. I think they're right around where they were last year, maybe like 5 wins, so under.
So probably not a crush, or like a sprinkle.
Yeah, I don't even think I'll probably have this on my card, but like I just don't like the Raiders.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, also not on my card, but I'm gonna go under. I just don't think Devontae Adams is enough to carry an entire team, and I think he has a higher likelihood of staying with them than Josh Jacobs does. With that being said, I still just I don't like it under.
All right, Mario.
They could have Jacobs and Adams. I would still hammer this under at 5.5. No, I mean, they have the second hardest schedule in all the NFL. But even besides that, I mean, when you look at the defensive end, they had Chandler Jones and Max Crosby last year, which everyone thought beginning of the season, I think last season they were like 8.5 before the season started, because everyone thought like, oh my God, that defense.
They're supposed to be good last
They're
year.
supposed to be good. And then all of a sudden they're like top 5 or 6 and like most points given up per game. Like they're not good defensively. And then offensively, like the only thing they really had, like obviously Josh Jacobs is solid, but like I think he's like above average, mid, kind of like within that. Like he's like RB like 12 to me, like RB 13.
Rushing leader last
How
year.
do you do that?
Well,
Rushing
his
leader.
career average is RB 12. So like, I think he's like around there. He's like he's a solid running back. Devontae Adams I think is good, but like part of the reason I think he's like I had him I think ranked like wide receiver 8 or 9. Part of the reason I think he takes a significant step back is because of the quarterback. I know Derek Carr is not like some amazing quarterback, but they did have chemistry from college.
Yeah.
They were great friends. And also one interesting thing just to keep in mind, Derek Carr averages in his career 12 more pass attempts per game than Jimmy Garoppolo. Derek Carr loves to throw the ball. Jimmy G has never had a season where he's averaged 25 pass attempts or more.
why I like it
His
better.
career average is only 23. It's like, I don't think the way they were winning games obviously was contingent on Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
If you're throwing the ball 12 games, like 12 times less per game, I think that just like is going to hurt the team. I don't think Jimmy G is obviously a downgrade. I don't want anything to do with the Raiders.
So we are 4-1.
Under. Hammer.
4-1 to the under.
Yeah.
So that will be on the card. Ryan, the only one holding out on that.
Yeah.
Last team in the division, we have the Chargers at 9.5 wins. You're getting this around -110. They were 10-7 last year. They made the wild card. They made the playoffs, and we all know what happened to them. The last game we saw them, they blew a 4-touchdown lead in the playoffs with 2 quarters remaining. So I'll go ahead and start here. This is a really tough one for me because I think the Chargers are good, but I've given a lot of wins. I mapped out the entire season to other teams when they play. I don't think the Chargers are dominant. They're going to be above 500 though. So I have them at 9 wins as on that 9-win maybe wild card bubble, like the 6 or the 7 seed, maybe even like 8 or 9 seed. Like there'll be a couple teams with 9 wins. But I'm going under here if you're getting at the 9.5 number. If it goes to 8.5 somehow, I'd end up betting the over. But it's close for me.
Yeah, I'm betting the under no matter what that line is. 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. This Division 1 is just too tough. Like, they play, every team plays each other well. Doesn't matter who they are. And they all got like better, in my opinion. Maybe the Raiders, you don't believe, got better. That's fine. And I also think outside their divisional games, they play the Bills, Lions, Jets, Ravens, Vikings, Cowboys, Dolphins. So like, there's not a lot of wiggle room to lose there. So I think it's just a stupid over bet because so many ways to loss, and I just don't think. I think they're regressing. So.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think at best they're, I think at very best they're 9 and 8. So I have them winning 7 or 8.
So this is a big under for you then.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're 3-0 to the under. Mike.
I'm scratching the over, but I'm not betting it again.
So you're over though.
I'm over. Something in my gut tells me that with one of those outer conference games that they kind of just edge out one of their underdog games. But again, going with the gut, it's what it told me. I'm relaying the message to you.
Okay, Mario.
The gut has spoken.
Mario.
This was a really tough one for me too. I kind of fiddled back and forth. I have them at 9 wins, just like glazing that under,
I like it. Just glaze it.
Just glazing the under. But
Krispy Kreme it.
yeah, I mean, for me, like the main thing I bet on. That was weird.
Oh wait. Oh wait. Yeah. Hold on.
It's like Charles Barkley. He's like, hold on.
When a guy's banging you, you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
This division, we've seen Mike with the shake weight. We've seen him getting tugged in every direction with the Broncos, and now he's Krispy Kreme in the line.
He's Krispy Kreme glazing the under. Yeah, Mike's having fun over there.
Yeah, you
but
need to tell us something.
But yeah, this team. I mean, the biggest factor for me when I bet on these teams, like when I look at players, is the quarterback.
Yeah.
And like, is the quarterback good? Yes. Is the quarterback a winner? Not really.
Mike loves winners.
And so it's like, okay, I'm not going to put a lot of money on a guy who's not a winner, like Tyler said. Last time we saw this dude, he was up 27-0 on the Jags and then decided to lose the game.
Oh yeah,
By scoring 3 points in the second half. So
that was impressive.
Gorgeous performance, by the way,
was impressive.
by the opposing quarterback.
in the second half.
Absolutely glorious
For the whole game.
performance.
Second half
That was
performer.
great.
Yeah, first half was one of the worst, but
Yeah.
second half one of the best comebacks. But yeah, no, this dude, Herbert, he's talented, but I just don't really see him as a winner. So I'm having him at like 9 wins.
He's a loser.
Put on the card.
Another 4-1
Yeah.
to the under. So we were unanimous Chiefs over and 2 4-1s for the Raiders and Chargers unders. Moving on to the last division in the AFC, also probably least division. I was gonna say last and not least, but they are the least division. They have some bad teams in there in one absolute monster of a program. We're gonna kick it off though with the Texans, the revamped Texans. They drafted at number 2 overall CJ Stroud. He's already announced to be the starter over Davis Mills. So we will see CJ Stroud week 1 in the NFL. This team's win total number is at 5.5. It's minus 150 though. I've also seen this number at 6.5 on some places. So they're right around the 5.5 to 6.5 range. Last year they were 3-13, but they did kind of intentionally lose towards the end to get CJ Stroud. So that number may be a little skewed. I'll go ahead and start. I have them at this 5.5 number as an over. I have them at 6 or 7 wins. So I don't think they're like a great team, but this division freaking sucks. They're so bad. And I do actually think CJ Stroud will be a NFL starter for a while.
Love that.
He's the only quarterback from Ohio State I've seen in a long time that is a really, really, really good passer. They're usually like, he's really athletic, but he's also a really good passer of football, and he's tall. Like, he's not as short. He's not like super tall, but when you look at like compare him and Bryce Young, I think Bryce Young has a lot of really good intangibles, but I really like CJ Stroud. I think he's a perfect build for an NFL quarterback, and he fits. He can kind of make unconventional throws. I'm strictly betting this off of CJ Stroud. Nothing to do with the team. I think they have some good wide receivers, but yeah, so it's an over for me at this 5.5 number. If it's 6.5, I would almost avoid even giving a pick because I have him at literally 6 or 7 wins. I couldn't find anything more, and I wasn't going to give him less than 6. So
I would love to piggyback off your CJ Stroud take right now.
okay.
I think Vegas is a genius. With that being said, I think they're setting up this whole storyline of 5.5 wins. It's so easy. It's such a little number. Everyone take it. Everyone's going to float around, be like, oh my God, graduate to 5.5. Blah, blah, blah. 7th easiest schedule in the NFL. Whatever.
Well,
CJ
these are all
Stroud.
great.
It's all part of the script, right?
Ooh.
I'm telling you, you're just.
Mike got the script
don't,
leak.
Wouldn't they make
Mike,
the over?
the script was
Don't
leaked.
be,
He got
don't be a
That's
sucker.
script.
Don't be a sucker.
But the sucker would be
Bet
taking
the under. I have them at 3 wins. They suck. CJ Stroud is gonna make a name for himself, but not this year. This team sucks. They're going way under. They're still gonna be the 32nd best team in the NFL.
Ooh.
Like
Which
they
one is
suck.
that?
Ooh,
They're not
I like
third.
that.
30-second bet.
I like
30
that
second
take.
best. That's a big number.
How much one of that?
There's not many more teams.
No, I'm
below
not
that.
betting on anything.
There's
But I'm
zero.
just saying. Under.
Under.
Jesus
Under.
Lord,
Mario.
Terrible take after.
Under.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. Regardless, I'm not betting this heavily, but I'm gonna lean towards the under, simply for the fact, kind of like the opposite of Tyler, where he bet the over only because of CJ Stroud. I'm betting the under only because of CJ Stroud.
Wow.
Really, just because like rookie quarterbacks, it's just like there's usually an adjustment period. You see like a lot of times rookies struggle their first year, like Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence, and all of a sudden bounce back and look like a completely
That had
different
something
person.
to do with the coach, but yes.
Yeah, big time with the coach.
Yeah, urban slip over there.
But I mean, I'm just going off history. Like the last time there was a quarterback out of Ohio State, there was like, oh, it was a great passer. It was Dwayne Haskins. He didn't really work out in the NFL.
They suck.
I mean, quarterbacks out of Ohio State, out of at least the last decade, don't really work out. I don't see why all of a sudden it's going to change with CJ Stroud. He has potential. I mean, he has all the physical attributes, but I mean, they have some young receivers like Tyler mentioned. Maybe one of them turns out to be good.
I think Mechie could be. I think
He could be good. We'll see. You know,
a beast at Bama.
I think Damian Pierce is solid, but I'm just not really this team isn't that good.
It's young. It's a
It's
young
a young team.
Yeah.
They're not really that good. We're gonna see what happens. I just think CJ Stroud. I have him barely under like 5 wins.
Okay.
So
Tate. I'm gonna give you. I'm saving you for last round.
All right, we're gonna go with the under here. I actually do really like CJ Stroud. I like Mechie, but I'm gonna agree with Mario here. The rookie quarterbacks in their first year, I'm just not gonna be a believer.
You might not like the entire division then.
yeah, this division.
I'm pretty much
I
there.
mean, I think it's just gonna be tough. I mean, that team won 3 games last year.
3 games. Yeah.
That
I think
that's
that was
just,
2 drafts strapped, but yeah.
Yeah, that's too tough for me. I'm not a believer. I'm not actually gonna bet this.
Wow.
But I just don't like it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think-
like it.
I'm not gonna. I mean, we're getting to Ryan here, but I'm just gonna say through 4 people, I didn't think I'd be the one standing up here supporting an Ohio State quarterback.
love it.
This is a big moment for me. So
This is huge.
Ryan, go ahead.
Kind of gross.
This is an easy over. My crazy thing for me, like if it's 5.5, my bad. If it's 5.5, easy over. I'm not saying if it's 6.5, they're gonna win 8.
Don't be a
games.
sucker.
If it's 5.5, like the line for 5.5 is minus 150. So that means the sucker part would be taking the under at plus money.
Or he's sharp.
Sucker. Regardless, people are forgetting all the talk is about the number 2 pick in the draft at CJ Stroud, and no one ever talks about the number 3 pick with Will Anderson. Like he was gonna be the number 1 pick
Good
throughout literally, I would think like 10 weeks of the season, and then obviously Bryce Young went nuts and Stroud went ballistic, and they moved up and also the way
And teams
the way
like
it's
to
shaped
talk
out for quarterbacks. People don't forget they got Stingley in the back end, and they got Jimmy Ward from the 49ers. So that defense is going to get insane.
No, they're young. They're young.
Young and insanely better with a veteran in Jimmy Ward, in my opinion. And I think
They won the draft.
they won the draft.
Yeah,
but I
they
think
won the draft for sure.
100%.
I think they can easily go 3-3 in that division with how bad it is. And I'm carving out 3 more wins with CJ Stroud. I mean, last year with David Mills and like nobodies, they were competing. They had one score game against the Chiefs, against the Eagles, against the Giants, against the Cowboys. A lot of great games.
Davis Mills.
Didn't they beat the Chiefs last year? Or am I crazy?
No, they lost in overtime.
Oh, they lost in
So I'm saying
overtime. Okay, yeah.
Davis
all-
Mills didn't play horrible though.
No, but I'm saying I
You're
think
expecting CJ Stroud
That's why.
to come
That's
in.
why
No,
I
I'm
wasn't.
expecting CJ Stroud not to play horrible.
That's
That's the
why-
same statement. I mean.
No, I'm saying like to come in and put up similar numbers.
That's why I was actually extremely surprised that they already announced CJ Stroud as the starter. I figured Davis Mills was like a passable quarterback. It's not like a shock to me. I'm not like, oh my gosh.
Well, have you seen the stat comparison with him and Daniel Jones?
It's the same.
It's like the
Well,
same.
it's also the same with him and a couple other quarterbacks. Like
Yeah.
Dak Prescott. Like, yeah, Davis Mills not bad, and they already announced him starter, which makes me think C.J. Stroud's probably looking pretty good.
If my opinion, if I get a consensus that they go 3-3 in their division, in 11 games, I think they can pull out 3 other games, and all these close games they had last year. I think the team is deeper than people think.
Yeah. All right. So we are definitely not in consensus there. Pretty split across the middle. The Colts, also rookie quarterback, they are 1 game above the Texans in win projections. They're at 6.5. You're getting -115 on that. Last year they won 4 games, but they also have that rookie quarterback starting Tate. What do we think about the Colts this year?
Oh my God, I am all over the Colts this year.
Over their
Over.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man.
all over.
They're going to
over.
be like the Denver Broncos for me.
Wow, 2 sheets.
The Colts are a really good football team.
No, or not.
They had second to, I think, Russell Wilson, the worst quarterback play on earth.
Yeah.
So if it's any better than it was last year, they should have no worries getting over their win total this year.
Wow. I'm actually I'm kind of surprised you're on.
I'm very
they're over there.
surprised.
How many wins do you have them getting? Because 6.5 is the number.
I love the Colts this year, so my generous number is
Say
9
9.
and 8.
9 and 8.
I love it.
So they're maybe
They're
wild card.
they're my favorite to win the division.
So they might win the wild card. They might win the division.
Dude, this is the funniest shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
all
my
right.
God.
All right.
Dude, this shit is hilarious.
9 and 8 with the Colts. You heard it
All
here
right.
first.
That's my hot take.
Our
I think
cameraman Kevin has quite literally lost his headphones. He is in shock behind the camera. Ryan,
That's,
are you also
crazy.
Colts 9-win season?
Absolutely
crazy.
not. This is Colts
That's
under
crazy.
6.5. I don't think people, on the complete opposite of Tate's logic, I don't think people realize how bad this team was last year, regardless of their quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, they were terrible in every yards per game, points per game, points, defensive standards.
They might not have Jonathan Taylor.
No, look, they might. There's just nothing exciting about it.
wait,
And even
what's
with
up with JT?
the
Have you
whole
been
dis-
paying attention?
the
to-
whole discussion about running backs getting paid?
He might. Okay.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I just think that, I mean, they have to play. Yeah, it's tough. I know
We
it's
literally
tough
talked
listeners.
about that like 3 separate times, and you were like all over it.
Yeah.
It just right
No,
over your head. All right.
It's okay.
Sorry,
But
Ryan.
anyways, I don't think a rookie quarterback steps in and does anything drastic to a team was bottom 3 in the league in points per game.
Except for CJ Stroud.
No, but my point, were the Texans were not bottom 3 in the league. They were
Really?
They were like 7th.
You're talking points per game.
Yes, points per game.
Oh, I thought you were talking record.
No. I'm talking points per game. So I think for them to put up points that they're gonna win because they were like their defense can hang, but they lost Gilmore, so I don't think they're gonna be great. But I just think like they play the AFC North. I think they lose all 4 of those games in the AFC North, and like there's only so many games they can win after. I just love this under. They're not good. They're not gonna score. Anthony Richardson might be great. He might take some time. Mario mentioned it. Rookie quarterbacks take some time. He's not going to come in and win you 9 games and be the greatest rookie quarterback.
Tate's all over the over. Ryan clearly all
Way
over the under. I am pretty torn on this number actually. I really like Anthony Richardson. He's obviously the quarterback that's probably most exciting to watch out of this draft class because I feel like you know what you're going to get in a way with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. They're both good football players, but Anthony Richardson started 1 season in college, didn't even have that great of a year, but when he played well, his highlights looked like he was just going to be the next NFL star. Like his highlights where he's like rolling out 2 spins, finds a guy in the back of the end zone, but he also had really bad games too. So he's a total wild card for me. I think he actually has a really good season, and I love his odds for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Just in case he's like he is their guy. Yeah, I mean like every team when they're drafting is looking for the guy. Like best case scenario for the Colts, right? They get to the playoffs. Like regardless, you have to beat Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's the guy. And so I think they drafted Richardson and are going to start him immediately with the hope that somehow they found magic in a bottle. I don't think they did, but I like Richardson still. So I have them at 5 wins this year. So it's a slight under. But this one was really tough for me because I can see them winning 7 games if Richardson's amazing. But I'm going under here.
I just want to say this as a note for the general podcast, but also for this pick specifically because I had it written down as a note. I am well aware of my own personal biases that I carry for or for many individuals and many teams in the NFL. With that being said, for a lot of these, I really genuinely try to fight against my picks and say fade Michael and pick the other side.
Wait, so you're buying?
So sorry. Regardless, anyways,
Sorry, regardless.
anyways,
That was-
I really wanted to choose the opposite of this, but I couldn't because the Colts suck. It's the under. I mean, it's just. It's the under. It
really
matches,
worked your way to that.
Well,
Yeah,
it
Colts
matches
suck.
my feelings of hatred for the Colts, and then it also like collaborates. So now it's just a God. I love it.
I want to clarify there. You said there was an important note to say because you had written it down as a note to say that you want to go with your biases, but you try to
fade
avoid
yourself.
them and fade yourself, but you couldn't because you wrote it down as a note to say it's the under. That was the. I just want to make sure I'm getting that correct as to. That was pretty much it.
That was the greatest Joe Biden speech I've ever
Yeah, I
heard.
mean it's just. I don't know. Throw up some clip of nonsense and we'll move on tomorrow.
No, I got it.
You know, our natural wonders inspire, and the reflection inspires our to take action. You know,
Under though. You're riding with me. It's the under.
Well, yeah.
Mario.
Yeah, I'm also on the under.
Hard.
If Jonathan Taylor doesn't play, this goes way under. If they have JT, I do think he's good enough. Like, they have one of the best O-lines. And I think Anthony Richardson, yeah, he's dynamic. I don't think he's a great passer. And that's one thing you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be in the NFL, or at least become one. Like we saw, Lamar wasn't great and then became, a very good passer his second year compared to where he was. I mean,
Okay,
it was
yeah.
like night and day.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, I don't think he's going to come in and win a lot of games. Is he going to produce some moments of magic like Tyler said? Sure. I think he's going to have like some cool touchdown runs and stuff and like truck people, and he's going to get people excited. But when you really look at this team, outside of Jonathan Taylor on offense, I mean, they have Michael Pittman, but you have to get him the ball.
Josh Downs, rookie receiver.
I thought this was going to be
And I mean, on the defensive end, it's really, really
Yeah.
dead. I mean, outside of Darius Leonard, they really don't have any. I mean,
Literally.
maybe DeForest Buckner, if he's still on the team. I haven't even checked.
Not great.
Yeah, so if we're 4-1 on the under there, though.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's it. Moving to the best team in the division, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Debatable.
Their number is 9.5, but that is minus 145. So I'm sure you can find this number at 10.5 other places. Either way, this is an over. I legitimately think this team can contend for the 1 overall spot in the regular season, just given their schedule and their division and how good their team is. Like, no, I have them winning 11 games, but I can see that number going to 13, and I think 13 could give you the 1 seed.
Oh my gosh, you know their schedule.
Yeah. I've looked. No, this team is.
It's the eyes you look at the schedule with,
No, it's this
That's
team
a
has.
great point.
They have one of the most dynamic offenses in the entire NFL. They are going to score a whole lot of points. They have weapons for days. Their defense is significantly improved. They have so many first-round draft picks on this defense. They have the number 1 pick, Walker, from 2 years ago on the defense, and they've just been picking up more and more defenders along with Calvin Ridley. I don't know. This is a hammer for me, and I'm super biased because I love Trevor Lawrence. But I'm just all over this team. I'm not saying they get it out of the AFC in the playoffs, but they could definitely get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. They could get the 1 seed in the AFC. Just they're going to win this division
Over the
easily.
Chiefs?
No, I'm saying if Chiefs can get, they both have 13 games. Somehow there's a tiebreaker in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm all over this.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think?
I'm under. Like, they can still win their division. Don't get me wrong.
Under the 9.5.
Yes. They can still win the division.
Wow.
But factoring in the fact that they have to play the AFC North as a whole. So that is an insanely tough division. You can easily, I don't think there's a chance they win more than 2 games in that division. They might go 2-2. I think there's a better chance they go 1-3. But at best 2-2. They also have to play the Chiefs, Bills, and the Niners, 2 of which are away games. So that's 7 games. That's 7. They have to go 10-7 to hit this number, and that's 7 games right now with them going undefeated in their division, which I could find losses for.
That's having them not beat any of the good teams and like still beating the Steelers losing to the Steelers and all that.
Correct. But that means going undefeated. I'm giving them an undefeated in their division. not losing a single game.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
It's gonna happen.
It's that division never. Regardless,
Texas,
no one.
Titans.
It's just too risky for me when they have to play 7 very good teams, in my opinion, and they're going to play a lot of teams. I like the under here.
Wow. Tate?
Yeah, I like the under. Not by a lot, but I mean, I think they're gonna go 9-8 or 8-9.
Wow. Wait, so not the division winners. You have legitimately have the Colts winning the division over the Jaguars.
I mean, I think it's gonna be closer than you think.
I don't know, they could.
I mean, they could still win the
They both be
division.
9-8.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty much with Ty on this one. I think the Jags have a very, very, I mean, not all the way, but I think the Jags have a very, very good team. I think the over is easy. I don't think they're getting 13 wins, but I think they're clearing 9.5.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked people think they're losing more than 7 games. But Mario?
Yeah, that was kind of where I was at. I have them losing 7 games, which put them at 10 wins. Kind of like what Ryan said, they play the AFC North. I gave them 2 losses with the Bengals and Ravens. I don't think they're going to lose to the Steelers and the Browns. I think they're way better than those teams. I do think they're going to clean out their division. I mean, I don't really see either any team like the Colts, I think, are bad. The Texans, I think, are bad. The Titans, I mean, we'll get to them. But
Yeah.
But when do divisions ever go 6-0? It's just not a thing.
I mean,
Sometimes
even
it's
maybe they
4-2.
split one against the Titans,
average
but like
is
I mean,
3.
I don't know. That's only 3 losses, and then like maybe they lose to the Bills and another team. All right, that's 5 losses. Like, and then give them
I still
another
don't-
2. That's still
I still don't
7
even think they
losses. Like
lose
I don't know.
all those
I just
games.
don't
Bills,
see.
Chiefs.
I don't see how this team gets worse off of last season. So and they have a pretty easy schedule. I don't know. I gave them the over. It's not like I'm gonna hammer this, but I think they get 10 wins,
Okay, so
10 to 11.
we're not in any sort of consensus there, but
Not over 11. I do not think. I'll disagree with Tyler. I do not think they have any chance of getting the bye.
No chance. I think it's 0.
But I do think the 10 to 11 range is probably where they end up.
I think
Too many teams in the AFC.
it's just
Yeah.
sneaky. I don't know. People,
I mean, if you get good
I
odds,
think
like
people
it's worth a
overlook
sprinkle. But
this team's defense
I
as
think
well,
like Bills and Chiefs.
who they beat at the end of last season. But moving on, and to end out the division, we have the Titans. They're at 7.5 wins, which is plus money. I can see this number probably going down to like 6.5 wins at a minus, like 115 type thing. They announced yesterday or this morning, I don't remember what it was, that Malik Willis
It's
is
QB2.
is above
Will Levis.
Will Levis on the depth chart, and we know Tannehill's not going to start the entire season. Like, he's old, terrible. Like, one of those quarterbacks will end up playing for them, and it looks like Malik Willis is the guy, and we saw what he could do last
Apparently, he's
season.
improved a lot though. So.
Yeah, no, I'll believe it when I see it. Tate, how do we feel about the Titans?
I like the Titans just slightly over though. This is not going to be something I absolutely love, but I just have them. I have them going 8-9. So I think
Well-
regardless of whether it's 7.5 or 6.5 or 7, it's.
So you're
it's
thinking
gonna
this could be one of the more close-knit divisions in football.
I
A lot of 8
actually-
and 9 win
I
teams.
think this division is like pretty just mid, and it's going to be all up wide open.
Wow. All right, Ryan?
Yeah, this is my obviously division winner. Derrick Henry and D-Hop are playing, as you guys saw on the past podcast. I'm gonna go over here. I mean, I don't really see anything. If Ryan Tannehill starts, I know you said he might not play the full season because of injuries. He's a great quarterback with like a wide receiver 1 and a Derrick Henry to just slowly like play games. And that team's so greatly coached that like every year, like last year against the Chiefs, against the Ravens, against the Bills, they stayed in all those games and almost beat all of them, even with Malik Willis, because of the way it's coached and because of the way the offense is run, just slow and beat them down. I think 7.5 is too low. I think they can easily win 8 to 9 games. And
This is, yeah, no, I hear you. This is my last place pick for the division.
Wow.
Yeah. I think
that's-
the Titans win.
I'll bet you
I
any
wish we
amount
could
of
make a
money.
bet. I know. I wish
we
we
make
could
him-
make a bet.
Well, I'm going
bet
to try to
with
find what odds I'm getting on that because I know their win total projection has them at the 2 in the division. Yeah.
How did they get worse?
I've looked at everything on this team. No, I think they're like really bad.
How did they get worse?
Yeah, I
They
know.
won 7 games. 7 or 8.
Well, they don't. Okay,
7.
put it this way.
7 and 10 last season.
You're assuming that Derrick Henry plays,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think Derrick Henry, I don't think he plays an entire season. I just think he's not happy.
Because of injury or like
No,
Do
just
you
like
think he hops in
something.
late, or
The
think
running
he
back
sits
thing.
out
The
in the
running back thing
beginning?
has me a little freaked out. I get D-Hop is a good receiver, but I'm very, very, very off of every quarterback. Like I get it. Tannehill can win games. He has historically been like an okay, passable starter. I don't think that's the case anymore. He doesn't bring anything to the table that makes me think he can beat other teams, especially not like the way a lot of these teams are progressing, like building up young quarterbacks, building their teams. The Titans haven't done anything to their roster that gets me excited at all. And the fact that they're even like making announcements about the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart really tells me that's who's going to be the quarterback of that team. I get Tannehill's the 1. No one announces who's the 2 on their team.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing. They don't like they made an announcement.
Unless it's
saying,
a rookie though, and people are kind of interested in the rookie.
Yeah, but that's so weird because they were almost Malik Willis. They said 3 weeks ago they might have cut him. They said he's still not out of the woods to not make the roster. Now this week they're like, actually he's going to be our 2. I don't know.
It just happens every year. Like every year, everyone's like, "Oh, the Titans, they're not good anymore. They're not
No,
good
they
anymore."
win.
And
I've
Mike
never-
Vrabel somehow they win.
Personally,
games.
I've never been off the Titans before. I've always thought the Titans were a good team. This is the first year where I've looked at it and I'm like, every other team in this division is at least trying to build something. The Jags have built something, and the Titans, I think, are
I mean,
completely
they went
falling.
and got D-Hop.
And 2 years ago, they almost went to AFC Championship off behind a field goal. You know what I mean? Like with the same team.
Yeah, but that
They just lost a defender.
it's
Joe
not. But it's
Joe
that's
Burrow.
2 years of no progress. I don't know. This is a way under for me, like a huge under, not even close.
Yeah, you should bet your life on this. If you think they're last, because they're the second.
I'm gonna try to find
They're the second
a bet
biggest
for
bet
them
in the
to
division.
get last place. Yeah.
I was pretty in the middle on this one. I somehow ended on the barely over. I kind of have faith that Derrick Henry and D-Hop are going to be useful and utilized in a correct manner. I have them at 8 wins, so quite literally half a game over. But yeah, that's kind of where I ended up.
Mario?
Obviously, this is contingent on Derrick Henry. If they don't have Derrick Henry, then I think this
they're
is
screwed.
Nah, I think
They're
this is
screwed.
an easy under.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming he's going to play. They got DeAndre Hopkins. When I was giving them like wins on their schedule, I kept falling on 8 wins and then 7 wins, 8 wins, and they're at 7.5. So I quite literally don't know where to go. I'm kind of happy I went last to kind of hear some arguments because I was kind of leaning on the over. So I think I'm gonna lean on the over.
Wow. So that's
Only because Tyler was so heavy on the disrespect that I feel like I need to defend them.
yeah. Well,
But if they go under, I would not be surprised. But there's a 0% chance they're at last place in this division. 0% chance. They will be the second best team in this division behind the Jaguars. This is a very bad division. I don't think
They've been
these
top 2
teams.
for the past like 7 years. I think.
I don't think these teams are winning a lot of games besides the Jaguars, and I think the Titans can do it. They're a well-coached team, like Ryan said. Like, it's always safe to bet on a team that has a good coach. They're going to get their players in the right positions,
yeah.
right situations. I'm going to lean on the over, but
This is brutal for me because it's one of my least favorite bets, and we just went
it's a
4 and 1.
if they repeat 7 and 10, would
It's-
not be surprised.
It's one of our few bets that we're going to be.
I don't think
on the
there's
card.
any way they're winning like 9 games or anything.
Pain.
But
I think that division has like a really. It's the same as it always been. Like 9-win division, barely over 500.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. This is out of this division. We got the Colts at 4-1 on the under, and we have the Titans at 4-1 on the over. Now moving on to the NFC, we
Best
had a
conference.
lot. We had some interesting consensus picks in the
fun.
AFC.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see where
I
we
think
go.
we hit the over.
Yeah, I'm very. Oh yeah, we already have 3 5-0s.
yeah.
So I think we're going to end around 5 or 6. That was my guess. I think we'll probably get there. Very interesting to see where a lot of these NFC divisions go, though, because I've heard a lot of takes on either direction. So let's just jump into it. NFC East, one of the most powerful divisions in the NFC. 3 teams last year made the playoffs. 3 teams actually in the Final 4 in the NFC. So we're going to kick it off with the Cowboys. Their win total is at 9.5, but this is minus 152. So you'll also see this number at 10.5, around even money or a little plus money. Mario, how do you feel the Cowboys can do? Last year, 12-5.
Yeah.
So
For me, I'm going to hammer this over. I think this is an easy over. Like you said, they hit 12 wins last year, and they had some. Dak missed some time. They had some play from Cooper Rush,
yeah,
who, I mean,
I think he missed 2 games.
2 games or 3 games?
Yeah.
I think it was 3. Either way, I mean, Cooper Rush, yeah, he got the job
Their
done, but
defense
he's
filled
really,
it. He
it's
filled it.
really,
Defense stepped up
he
like
didn't really do
crazy.
anything spectacular. It's really their defense, and their defense is easily like top 2 or 3 in the league.
Yeah, they're elite.
And I think finally they have Tony Pollard on the loose. They can actually get the running game going, not Zeke run for 2 yards.
Literally.
I just like this team. I think they're a really good team. So yeah, hammer this over.
Over, Mike.
I am going to go with, I think that they need a little bit more time to develop. I'm taking the under,
Oh
but
my
barely the under.
God.
I have them.
Develop what?
Can you
They won
elaborate
12
on that?
games last year?
Yeah.
I mean, I just.
But
you know,
just expand on what you mean by develop for a second.
Yeah, like what?
So I mean, like actually having Tony Pollard as a secure RB1. I think Dak is still terrible, but I mean, give him another year, give him some time to.
Let the veterans
Yeah,
develop.
all three
let the
games Zeke was
veteran
out
get-
last year. Pollard had over like 150 all
He was also
yards.
regardless.
Pollard is good. I have Pollard very high on my list.
Oh,
for
but
my-
you need to
for
see
my
him
running
develop.
back
Yeah.
range. I think the
Well, we need the team.
cohesiveness as a team needs to develop a little more.
Yeah, 12 wins.
I
doesn't-
also hate the Cowboys with the passion. This is kind
there
of
it
a
is.
bias.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go.
There's a little bit of a bias.
Remember when he
but
said
the
to
under.
fade himself? Just
Yeah.
stick with
All right.
it.
So Mario's
One of those is coming.
big over for Mario and an under because you got to let the veterans develop from Mike. I'm right at 10 wins for the Cowboys this year. I think they are a little worse than last year, mostly because I think the other teams are improving. I'm also not in love. Like, I get their defense is good. I don't think they're like the number 1 or 2 defense in the league realistically.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's number 2 then?
I think they could be 3.
I think there's a-
San
They're in
Francisco's
their
number
tier.
1.
I
by
mean, it's
far,
San
right?
Francisco,
I think-
and then
I just don't think. Okay, here's my thing. Micah Parsons is fantastic. I don't think Diggs is nearly as good as a lot of people give him credit for.
he's a
And
top
what-
5
I
You know
corner.
he's on the other
Wait,
side.
Gilmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Gilmore's good.
Gilmore.
But I just don't think. I don't know. I don't love everything about the Cowboys this year. I also don't think Dak is that great. But I'm still going over. So I have them at 10 wins, maybe 11. So it's an over for me, but not like a hammer play. I don't think they win the division. So I think they're a wild card team. I think they're the 5 seed. That's why I have them.
Hammer over. 9.5, 10.5, 11.5.
Whoa.
Whoa.
11 and a half.
You have them at 12 wins?
Yeah, I have them at 12 wins, the same as last year. I think they only got better, like and insanely better. They're young guys now. All were rookies, like even Diggs from 2 years ago. Like now Parsons has a year under him. Like they're all gonna get so much better as they play. They bring on a vet and Gilmore, and their offense is stacked. People don't realize they brought in Cooks, who's literally been one of the most efficient wide receivers in all of football in his entire career. So you have already wide receiver
Yeah,
1.
no.
I'd love to see some stats on that Cook stick, but
Brandon
No, he
Cooks.
switched.
he's solid. He's
He's
solid.
also
1,000
a
yards
clear
in every
RB.
team.
He was a clear wide receiver 1 against nobodies, right? So it's
Where
like
is he the clear wide receiver 1?
Texans.
They didn't. Okay, they had won 3 games. You can be a wide receiver. Like, who's the wide receiver
That's
on the
fine.
Texans this year? They're not like a clear wide
Okay,
receiver 1.
anyways.
Cooks isn't going to any team wide receiver 1.
My logic. You have CeeDee Lamb, who's going to be an absolute stud. There's nothing to take
Yeah.
away. You have Cooks now to help him out, and then you have Tony Pollard just fresh legs. I don't see at all how this team could got worse, and their division, in my opinion, did get worse. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think everyone in their division is going to win 7 or more games.
Yeah.
8 or more games. My bad. I think
Yeah.
they won 8. That's absurd. The worst
Yeah.
team was 8 wins.
Yeah.
What team got worse?
The
The
Commanders.
Commanders. Yeah, they
Tyler
did.
Heineke-
Yeah, they did.
I think that's just it's common sense.
I don't
Yeah,
think the
Commanders
Giants got
did
The
better.
Giants got worse for sure.
I don't.
They
I
have
just.
a running back that doesn't even want to play for the team. Their team barely snuck in. and
Well,
they're
we'll
not
talk
playing.
about the job, but so Cowboys,
Yeah.
your hammer over.
Cowboys hammer is
Okay.
not
Tate.
really close.
I think this is an easy over. I actually really like the Cowboys. I tried to take the most pessimistic take that I could have, and I have them at 10 wins. So I think this is going to be an easy over. They could win any of their tough games against, like I have them losing to Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, and Miami, all 4 in a row, and I think they could win any of those games, which puts them at 11.
Okay, yeah. So we are 4-1 on the over at that 9.5 number, but Tate and I both have them around 10 wins. So if you get that 10.5 number, it's a little closer to being split down the middle.
Yeah.
Ryan, we'll let you kick it off here because you're already talking about the Giants. Giants win total is at
Oh, I know how
7.5.
it's going.
Even money, you're getting plus 100 on it. They won 9 games last year. It sounds like you think they got worse.
Ryan has them at 3.
Yeah. No, I don't have them at 3. I have a logical brain unlike you. But like Giants, I have under 7.5 wins strictly because I also love the fact that the under is minus money. The
Yeah.
over is plus money.
Yeah.
It's like I saw plus 100,
Plus 100,
110,
it's even,
and plus 120 on some of the bets. But I really like this. I just straight up think the team is not good. I think they had a lot of good things go their way last year, like close games that like were a coin flip, and they battled out. They had a lot of battle games. And I also think Daniel Jones is just not good. I don't think he's a top 12 quarterback in the league. And I just think that with a mid running back who just barely got slapped on the wrist, paid for one more year, I just think they're not good. They have the 5th hardest schedule in the NFL this year. I think all those games last year are going to slide the other way, and they just won't do anything. So I'm going to go the under pretty heavily here.
Tate?
Yeah, I mean, I think initially I wanted to choose the over. You know, after watching last year, the Giants kind of squeaked out a bunch of games that were like, okay, they might have got a little lucky, but they did. They won games.
And a playoff game.
Yeah, and a playoff game. But I looked at their schedule, and I'm just looking through their wins. I don't think they can win 8 games. There's too many tough games. I have them going, 7-9 or 7 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah, 7
So
and 10.
2 unders there. I have the over here for sure. I see 8 or 9 wins. I think they're right around where they were last year. I don't see their team getting significantly worse. I actually think Daniel Jones is like a solid NFL starter. I'm not an insane amount to add here. I think there may be a wild card team. I, again, have a lot of teams in that 9 win range, but they're definitely in the conversation, which is for sure over 7.5 wins.
I have them at 9 wins. I've said this before. First of all, I agree with Tyler. I think Daniel Jones is a very capable NFL quarterback. I think he gets slept on and disrespected a lot. I think
Danny
also,
Dimes.
Danny Dimes, exactly. The Giants also did draft a very versatile and a very well-graded center, which obviously helps their offensive line, which they desperately needed.
And they got Hyatt at wide receiver, the fastest wide receiver in the draft. You guys might be a beast, but
definitely did. And I also just completely disagree with Ryan. I think Saquon Barkley is fantastic. I think he has all the skill to carry that team, along with Daniel Jones and everything else.
That's why they paid him, right?
To about 9 or 10 wins.
paid him big bucks. The 1 year contract. Big bucks.
Saquon also requested an obscene amount of money, but
if he's one of the best, he should get it.
None of the best running backs are getting paid that much. So
Facts. Mario.
I actually have the under here. It's really close for me, but I have them at 7 wins. I think they easily could start 1-5, and this is kind of like what I said about that Jets team. Like that does something to a team's mentality if you start off like with 1-5. It's hard to kind of bounce back off of that. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle between you two and Ryan as far as Daniel Jones. Like I don't think he's like as bad as Ryan thinks. I don't think he's as good as you guys think. I think he's probably like a sweet middle.
I just said not top 12.
Well, I've heard you say other things too.
But Ryan's not a Daniel Jones fan.
Yeah.
He's not a Daniel
regardless,
Jones fan.
I think he's probably around like QB 20 to 21.
Yeah. Wow. We just talk. You guys. Well, you love talking about people who could throw.
19.
He has literally one of the worst QBRs as a starter in any career.
I don't know. You don't get the nickname Danny Dimes unless you could dish out some dimes.
Okay. Daniel Jones is also like he's smart. He can run. You know.
I think we're forgetting they also got one of the best
Waller.
tight ends in the NFL as well this year.
Darren Waller.
For
sure.
They added. I'm just saying
they
added
added
some offensive weapons here.
They added Darren Waller, who I think for fantasy production is going to be good. Is that going to result in wins? I don't think so. I do kind of agree with. I don't know if it was Tate or someone said like how last season they squeaked out a lot of games, and I think that was like a very fortunate thing that went their way, and they got really lucky to kind of be in the playoffs. They have a gritty defense, but I don't see any production offensively outside of Saquon, and it's like Danny Dimes. I don't know. I'm not a believer.
So
I got the under, but it's close under. I think.
Well, we're split
7 wins.
3-2.
3-2 on that. Eagles, the NFC champion Eagles, are at 11-5 this year. That is plus money though, or 11.5. Sorry, that's plus 120. Last year they went 14-3. I'll go ahead and start this one. It was tough for me, but I'm on the over. I have 12-5 is my projection for the Eagles. They're really good. I think they finally have their RB1 in DeAndre Swift. I think Hurts will continue to grow and get better. A.J. Brown, one of the best receivers in the league. Devontae Smith might be one of the best wide receiver 2s of any team in the NFL, just like standalone wide receiver 2.
Him or Waddle for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd even have him above Waddle. I really like the Eagles. It's hard to like project a team for 14 wins unless you're like the Chiefs or something. But 11.5 is a big number, but I think the Eagles get there. How do you feel?
This team is so stacked up and down. Like Jalen Hurts, their offense, offensive line, defensive line, defense, Like coaching is there. Like This over is it's just gonna hit. You can't bet against a team like that. It just is so good. They can win in any category. Like they can have a bad game on offense, bad game on defense. Hurts will put up 40. Their defense will come back and have a great game. I love this over plus money. Thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be an absolute juggernaut this year. I mean, I think at worst they're 12-5. So I think this is just easy over. They're going to be one of the best teams in the division.
Mike?
Pretty
They're gonna
much
win the division easily.
same as Tate. They're also in the easier half of strength schedules for NFL teams. Yeah, easy over.
Mario? Are we unanimous on here?
Now, I'm not as convinced as you guys, but I am going to lean over. I had them at 12 wins. I do think there's like a little bit of regression, not in terms of like any positional regression, but just as far as the teams, like the total wins. I just think they had a special run, and you see teams have a special run for a season. It's hard to do that year in and year out. That's what separates like the fantastic teams like a Mahomes who can just every season throw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
I do think that this team probably takes a step back and wins. Probably sits around 12. I'm going to lean towards the over just because of what I saw last season. But I think that, and also, some teams after Super Bowl, obviously they didn't win, but just making it to a Super Bowl, they have that success. They kind of need to find their footing a little bit because they think their team's up here and other teams that are a lot hungrier push them a little harder. But I'm going to lean over.
Yeah, a good point you made there is like the team doesn't have to have gotten worse to win less games.
Yes, exactly.
So like they won 14 games. I think the Eagles really only got better. But yeah, I have them at 12 wins. It's kind of the same thing with the Cowboys. Like they won 12 games last year. I don't think like they got worse, but it doesn't mean I think they're just gonna automatically get 12 wins. It's hard.
If they drop any games, they have a tough 5-week stretch where they play the Cowboys twice, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the 49ers. And it's like they could lose like 3-4 in a row. And if they drop a few games, like I don't know, like maybe they finish with 11 wins. Like you never know. So, I think it's a little bit closer than like the way over.
So that's 5-0 on the over. So that's another consensus.
Bang.
There we go. Bang. Let's get it. Last team in the division, the Commanders. Their line is at 6.5. You're getting plus 110 on that number. Last year they were 8-8. So it's a game and a half below.
8-1.
Yeah, a game
Don't
and a half.
forget the tie.
A game and a half below where they were last year. Mario, we'll go back to you. Where are you leaning on this number?
Yeah, I'm taking the under here.
Okay.
I'm not big on this team. Granted, I don't know a ton about Sam Howell, but I don't know.
It's not great.
It's not great. I do think they probably it's weird. I think they get better defensively just because like Chase Young's back and everything, but I just don't think offensively Heineke made some stuff happen where you kind of scratch your head and go how did you do that? He would kind of pull out some wins where you people would kind of just be like, oh, it's Heineke and kind of brush it off, but no, some of his wins were pretty impressive. Yeah. I just don't think you're going to get those special wins anymore. Okay. And I think they kind of settle back to reality. They kind of overprojected last season. I think they go back to where they really are, which is a 4 to 5 win team.
Okay. Mike?
My only note on this line is who the is Sam Howell? They have no chance.
No chance, baby.
Who the hell is that guy? No. What?
I love it. I have to clip that.
Quarterback out of North Carolina. You never know what he can do.
You never know.
They breed quarterbacks over there.
I shit on that guy.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, here I am on the same side as Mike. I do know who Sam Howell is. I'm not convinced he's that great. I don't think this team really got that much worse yet. Howell's worse than Heineke, but the rest of the team is, they're fine. Terry McLaurin's good.
I feel bad for Terry.
Gibson's back. Chase Young's back. But I'm going under here strictly because I think they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So in this quarterback draft is stacked. You're going to want to be at the if you're not going to win your division or make the playoffs, I think you're going to want to be closer.
Tank for a good one.
You're going to be close to the top of the next year's draft. So I'm going under only for that reason.
Yeah, I love that point. So I'm going under mainly because I call this the owner hedge. I think he got rid of Heineke. He logically is better than Howell. Says, I'm going to try the young guy. Maybe he's something. Maybe he was a late round pick and he does something. Worse, Sam Howell's great and we get to keep him. Or if he's terrible, we have the top 3 pick in the draft. Yeah. A great player. So I think this is a hedge because obviously Heineke's way better. Why get rid of him?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a straight win-win scenario for the owner. You know what I mean? Either he's right and Howell somehow beats this guy, or you get a top 3 pick.
Tate, are we consensus here?
Yeah, it was tough to find wins for this team. Tough. I was searching through the schedule,
Hey,
like
back to
two in a
back.
row.
trying so hard to give them a couple wins. They're not going to win any games.
Two
All
in
right,
the division.
so we have the
That's
Eagles as 5-0 on the over. Commanders 5-0 on the under.
2 consensus in the same division.
I know, and then we
that's
also
lit.
have 4-1 on the Cowboys over. So
Wow.
a lot of bets coming out of the NFC East. The NFC North is a division that saw a lot shake up this offseason.
Love it.
Most notably, the Packers no longer have their guy at QB.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers out of the division, which should leave every Bears fan saying they're blessings.
They're free.
Thinking,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he
They're
owned
free.
the Bears. He literally, after scoring, would tell them, I own you.
Double check
Yeah,
them
so
multiple times.
They do not have to live with that anymore. Going straight to Chicago, are they free from the Rodgers curse? I mean, their total set at 7.5 this year. It's minus 125. Last year they won 3 games, and a lot of people are all over Justin Fields, having him top 5 fantasy quarterback. They can use their future. They were 3-14 last year. I want to start with Mario here. This is a lot more games than they won last year. This is 4.5 games over.
That's crazy.
And it's minus 125. How do you feel about the Bears?
This is possibly the easiest under you could ever bet. Like I'm not even trying to joke around right now. Like I don't know what they're thinking with this line.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Justin Fields is like, people are like delusional because they have like this fantasy haze, and he has like this little fan club of like everyone who loves Justin Fields.
They're
but, like,
loyal. They're
loyal. They
People love him.
ride for
Yeah.
their guy, even though he does not produce in real life any wins. I mean, if you just look statistically, I mean, this dude, 59% career completion percentage, averages 152 pass yards per game, has less passing touchdowns than games played. In his career as a starter, he's 5-20. I don't think, like, he hasn't even hit the over in his career. Like, where do you think all of a sudden he's going to just decide to win 8 games? Like, where did they improve? Oh, they got
Everywhere.
DJ Moore at wide receiver. And the crowd goes wild. Like what? I mean, what? We think he's going to step in and just all of a sudden give him 5 more wins? Like, no, this team is not good. I mean, just don't bet on bad quarterbacks. It's really that simple. Like, I hate to say it. Like, obviously for fantasy, yeah, Fields is good. He's going to run a lot. But outside of like running, this dude can't really throw the ball.
So big under for Mario.
Big under.
Mike,
Easy under.
Dude, all of that was so funny because it contradicts everything that I'm about to say right now.
Oh, that makes me love what I said even.
I think
I-
Mario just laid out the stats though.
No, hold on.
All right.
So,
We got Justin Fields fan club member, Michael Young.
Mike's
Sign him up. Where's the t-shirt?
Not even.
Card carrying member of the club.
But I looked at their schedule. They play Kansas City week 3. Other than that, who the hell do they play?
You don't think the Lions or
Second
Vikings
note.
can beat them?
No.
Good point.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, all right. No, keep going.
Okay.
Second
I want
point.
to hear it all. Yeah.
Literally wrote this down. Justin Fields may not be able to pass, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't play anybody. Over.
Wow.
I love that that's the logic.
That's
for the over.
I was gonna say. My favorite thing about
So
Mike.
sharp.
My favorite thing about Mike is when he says like, "I wrote this down."
I wrote it down.
It's
Read my note.
No, I don't need to.
Read it.
All
I
of
know.
all of us take notes and speak off of like what we write down. But when Mike really wants to make a point and doesn't have much else to back it up, he fills the space with "I wrote it down."
Yeah,
It's like,
Wrote it down.
yeah,
lets you know about the other stuff he's saying. Like,
it's just coming. I don't know where it's coming from.
he's shooting from there.
I am all over this bet. I am with Mario. This is a nuke underplay.
Yeah.
A Oppenheimer bet. Under. This, oh my gosh. I couldn't have been happier when I saw the line at 7.5.
Yeah,
I had a smile bigger than the one I have right now. It's so unbelievable. I have seen, I'm not even going to talk about Justin Fields right now. Mario gave you the stats. You can form whatever opinion you want on him. I've seen this Bears team play football.
Yeah.
Quarterback aside, they're just bad. They're really bad, like all around as a team. I don't think DJ Moore helps their wide receiving core at all. And I don't really see anything besides like QB scrambling that gets them yards. Like they don't produce on any metrics. They are awful. Last year they were one of the worst teams in the NFL, won 3 games. This is just, don't sweat it. Under. Easy.
Yeah.
Ryan.
So over.
Yeah.
My
Easy.
God.
So
From the Ohio
My
State fan.
God.
so I understand. I can admit my bias to Justin Fields. Obviously, I think he's actually going to be very good. I think people forget that he was like top 2 Heisman player every single year in college. Went to a Natty, played in big games. Big thing about those teams where they had players on the team. They finally gave the rings and said, "Hey, we're going to give you a chance to play." This year they got 2 offensive linemen. They got DJ Moore. Komet's going to be healthy. Mooney's pretty good. Herbert's going to be the back. I just think they're if you trust in someone and you say, "Hey, we're going to bring people in," it says a lot to you as a person without just everyone shitting on you. So I like that. And they play against 4 teams this year that made the playoffs last year. They have a very easy schedule. 4 teams. They play 4 playoff teams.
Yep.
So I just think that I really think they're gonna have a good year, and I think they're gonna hit this over. I think Justin Fields just is gonna have a good year. He's gonna go back to his Ohio State form and play well.
What's your win number for the Bears?
9. I think
So playoff team, like wild card team.
right on the border because I think they're the
Usually 9 and 8's
NFC
like a wild card.
NFC's close. The weird, it's like top heavy in some divisions, but it's gonna be close because I think the Vikings. It'll be close.
Okay. Tate.
The Bears are bad. They're really bad. They won 3 games last year, and it's actually kind of funny. But why on earth is their win total at
That's
7.5?
The rest of the division.
But do you ever think of like
But
Vegas
like,
things?
what do you mean the rest of the division? The Lions and the Vikings? Like,
Yeah, they got
The Packers are gone. Like if you look at how the win.
Packers were gone last.
but the
year.
Packers have the same
78.
win total.
Well, no. So if you look at how the lines changed from last year's wins to this year's win total number, it's the Lions and the Packers are basically exactly where they were for wins last year. Their numbers are almost the same. Bears are 4.5 games above, and the Vikings are 4.5 games below. So they literally have the division, like total wins for the division is evened out. They just have the Packers getting a little worse without Rodgers, and then or like staying the same, and then the Vikings
getting
just
way worse.
They're not winning 13 games. Yeah.
I just don't understand why it's at 7.5. I have them winning 6 games.
Yeah, I have 4.
But I'm just way too confused as to why it's 7.5. That's why I'm on the over now.
3-2, baby.
Well, thank the Lord that isn't on the card. Because I would have, after the Titans over sneaking on the card, if somehow the Bears over, if me and Mario weren't here to be the voice of reason, that would have been a tough
We'll
one.
be ready for the clip on the
But moving
Oh,
on.
I'm ready.
Moving on, the Lions, 9.5 at -120. Last year they were 9 and 8, so they think they're going to be right around the same, maybe a little better than last year. Tate, we'll go back to you. How do you feel about this Lions team?
Oh, the Lions. I think they're a good team. I think they're all around like a very decently good team that could make a run. They could lose some random games. I have them just barely over 9.5.
Okay.
And I don't love it.
All right. Ryan?
I love the under. Like the defense is atrocious, and they have to play outside of their division. Then I think they at best will go 4-2, and that division just wins all around. But Ravens, Chargers, Chiefs, Cowboys, Seahawks. I mean, I think it might be a push because it might stick at 9. This will be one of the weird ones that will go to like 9 flat. So if it's at 9, it might be pushed, but I think it's the easy under. I think Lions. I mean, they're not that good.
Yeah, I actually played around with this line a lot. I had them at first winning like 11 games, and then I went over the schedule again, was like, what was I thinking? Yeah, I think they get 9 wins max. So I think this could get very close to the line. This isn't something I would bet, but I'm going under. I don't believe in Jared Goff, really. I think there's a decent chance if Goff isn't great this year, they try to make some moves in the draft to get a quarterback next year because they have a lot of weapons everywhere else on offense. They do need defense, though. But, yeah, enough talk about the Lions. I think it's an under.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, here we go.
the time has come. The long awaited.
Oh, wait, is this good?
Fade Mike's gut pick. I want to do the over so bad. The line is just too high. We're going under. Under.
Under.
Under.
So, but you love the over.
His gut
Well, my
loves
gut
you.
loves the over, but now that I'm fading my gut, my brain tells
How
me.
does the viewers know any idea what to bet when you talk? Like, no, I'm going with my gut. Mike goes, I'm going with my gut.
So you're
That's okay.
under.
Under.
But you love the over.
Under.
Yeah.
But you love the over.
Under.
So
Okay.
Michael
Gut says the over.
So
He's
Mike
Brain says under.
giving
Mike's
out the under. Mario,
gonna
go.
doubt himself.
Under.
I like the over here, actually. Yeah.
I want this to be a 4-1.
No. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I have them improving slightly off of last season. I think I've talked about this in a past podcast where I forget if it was 7 or 8 games they lost by 4 points or less last season. I just think a few other games go their way this year. I think they improved on offense, and they got a few more playmakers. I think Montgomery is going to be solid. I think Gibbs is a total like Alvin Kamara 2.0.
He's the whole package.
Could take it to the house at any point. And, if Jameson Williams comes back, I know he's out for the first 6 games.
Behind that offensive line, too.
And, yeah, exactly. They have the rated, like, the second or third best offensive line. Like, I don't know. I just think they're a good team. And, obviously, the defensive end, they're not that great. But one thing I did like that I saw last season was Aiden Hutchinson had a lot of promise. And I think if you're going to be bad on defense, one position where you need to be good to at least give some pressure off of your defense is the D-line. If someone's pressuring the other team's quarterback, makes your cornerbacks that maybe aren't as good look a little bit better. Yeah. So I'm going to go, it's a barely over, but I'm going to lean towards the over here.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to the now Aaron Rodgers-less Packers. 7.5 wins. This is basically even money. You're getting minus 105. Last year they went 8-9 with Aaron Rodgers, and he was bad towards the end of the year. Yep. I'll go ahead and start here. This is a pretty spicy take. I think they may be worse than the Bears. And I have the Bears winning maybe 4 or 5 games.
Wow.
I think
in the division.
this Packers team does not have an identity. They're going to they've relied for years heavily on the play of Aaron Rodgers to get them out of insane situations, like miraculous fourth quarter comebacks. If Jordan Love is that guy and I'm just wrong, I'm happy to be wrong and get to have a new young quarterback to enjoy watching play. I don't see that at all. I don't love their wide receivers. Christian Watson's their wide receiver 1, so like for fantasy, he's a sleeper. But like in actuality, having Christian Watson as your wide receiver 1 on a team is scary. Their running backs, they still have 2. They don't have a running identity. The quarterback has never played a season in the NFL. Their defense is fine, not great by like any metrics, I think. Don't really love the coach either. I don't know. I'm off the Packers this year. They're going way under the 7.5 number.
Yeah, I love this under. Like, love. I think they depleted in every part of their game. Their running still will be there, but I think because of their no ability to be scared of the throw, because Aaron Rodgers, you were scared, you had to play a little deep. They're just going to put 8 in the box. If you stop that, nothing's going to happen. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson aren't going to do anything to you. And their defense has just been depleting every year. They've only gotten worse. It's not good. Mm-hmm. They've only gotten worse in the past 5 years. Like, worse. And the division's getting better. They're getting worse. I'd like the under here.
Tape.
Yep, most generous record I could find for them was 7-10. I realistically think they win 5 games.
Yeah, I have. Like I said, I have them like right with the Bears, if not worse.
Jordan Love is not it. Watson and Romeo Doubs, Dubs, whatever.
Dobbs.
Yeah, whatever. They live favorably in the Valhalla of bets because of a couple player props that won, I think, a few members of this group quite some money last year. I know Kevin behind the camera was a genius behind that one. But honestly, that was only because they had Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to do anything this year. They suck. Under.
Mario, are we consensus here on the under?
No, he's going to ruin it. He's going to ruin it.
Over. Guaranteed.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, it's already on the card.
No, but I want to consider.
It's already
Yeah, I mean, he wrote it down as an over.
Mario, what do you think?
I am going to lean on the over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot take.
Yeah,
Jordan Love is way better than people think. I'll bet any amount of money they finish better than the Bears.
Probably. My hot take was that they're worse than the Bears, but if I bet that, that's me betting on the Bears to win.
Yeah,
I could see
betting on Justin Fields.
I can see the Bears winning 0
If
games.
Justin Fields has another bad season, he might be out of the NFL.
He will be out of the NFL.
But anyways, we're not talking about the Bears. We're talking about the Packers. Dude, I think this is just my hot take. Like I actually have, when I see Jordan Love play, like I actually think he has potential. Like I actually think he knows how to play football. He learned some stuff from Aaron Rodgers. You kind of see him like, obviously not the throwing ability is, comparable to Aaron Rodgers, because I mean Rodgers is like maybe like as far as throwing talent,
One of the best of all time.
One of the best of all time. But you see like the way he stands in the pocket, he has kind of that similar like poise that Aaron Rodgers has, where he just kind of like just seems really cool,
Floating. Yeah.
just floating. And dude, they still have weapons with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and Christian Watson showed promise. I think Rodgers played as bad as he could play.
He was terrible.
And I think Jordan Love is probably similar to that. And I think they finish, it's not a way over, but I think it's around 8 wins. And I'm just going to lean towards it.
I kind of like the idea, like what you said, is you're perfectly fine losing this bet if Jordan Love is just all of a sudden.
And I really think that's the only way they're like.
Yeah, I think that's.
I think, and I get they have 2 good running backs, but I think that's like the only talent they have on offense. And it sucks
agree.
when you can't have them both. Like,
I think Watson's all right. And I think on defense, yeah, they've lost some like edge rushers like Zadarius Smith, but they still have a good secondary. Jair Alexander is one of the best corners in the game.
yeah, they just throw around them. But yeah, no. Okay, so we're 4-1 to the under there. Last team in the division, the Vikings, 13-4 last year. This year, 8.5 projected wins, way under. So it's all the 4.5
Like
wins.
I said a few episodes
The 4.5 wins above their record last year that they gave to the Bears, they took away from the Vikings.
Yep.
Mario, we'll stick with you. Where do you see this Vikings team?
Yeah, I have them going under. Kind of like the opposite of the Lions, where the Lions lost a ton of games. The Vikings squeaked out so many close games, and it was like the luckiest wins ever. They're not going to repeat that again. And we saw what kind of team. Everyone knew they weren't a 13 win.
No, they weren't
good
on a
team.
13 win.
And everyone knew, like, okay, it's going to be close around the Giants, just logically, right? And they had the best possible season, like the way, like the outcomes went for games, and they still lost to the Giants. We have the Giants. I have them under 7.5. There's no way I have the Vikings winning 9 games.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's not like a way under, but yeah, I'm taking the under on
All
this.
right, Mike.
My notes verbatim are: this is a bandwagon over. Kirk ain't it, and strength of schedule is tough, but everyone's riding, and I have FOMO. That's pretty much exactly how I feel.
Who else is riding Mario's on the under?
Well, yeah.
But the public's on the over.
The public is on the over.
Again, I love
Everyone's gonna
that's
be on the
the
over.
Yeah,
the
the
logic
public.
for the over. I love
Yeah, everyone's going to be on the over.
Bears and
I have
Vikings,
FOMO.
yeah.
I want to be with the game.
I think the Vikings are a great regular season football team. So I'm going to go on the over here. They won 13 games last year. I would be shocked if they win 6 games or 5 games less. I think they win the division. I think they get 10 games. So
Yeah, I love that. I can see a great argument, actually a very logical argument, that their offense got a lot better. Addison to Thielen. Thielen did nothing last year. Addison's fresh legs. You got actually got a running back you know is going to play for the game. You could Dalvin Cook will play 3 minutes and leave. Maybe play a game and leave.
I mean,
You get
Cook is still way better.
Cook is way better than Madison.
no. I'm saying like you get to. I just like being 100% running
consistency.
back consistency, and also Madison's great running back. Like he can easily
He is
put,
a very,
That's
he
yet
is a
to be-
very
but
good.
he could put up
That's
Cook,
yet to be
he could
really
put up
shown.
Cook numbers easily. And then also I just think like they have Hawkinson. They have a full year now with Hawkinson. Like that team's just gonna roll, and I just think that's a joke. I mean, if they go out worse 3-3 in division, you have to find 6 more wins. Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Raiders. I mean, that's going 3. Like this is just
Saints is an easy loss for them, but
All right, so
Tate.
I really don't know why their win total's at 8.5. That's actually kind of crazy, which scares me
No,
a little
it's
bit. But I have them at 10-7.
Okay.
I feel like there's just no
So
way. Their regular season.
we're
4-1.
4-1 to the over. I think that's a reasonable take, though. Our only bets out of this division are Packers under. We have 4-1, and then we have over for the Vikings. So I think that makes sense. Those are the
that's
bets you
fair.
kind of want to tail there. Let's keep it going. The NFC West is a division where a lot of people aren't focusing a whole lot in, but I know some of us have some
But the Rams.
spicy takes. Yeah, Mike's a Rams
The
fan.
Rams.
When we get to the Rams, we'll start with him. I kind of want to go first. We're going to talk about the Cardinals right now. They're at 4.5 wins. You're getting even money on that line. Last year, they won 4 games. I think they want Caleb Williams.
yeah.
I think the Cardinals maybe win 1 game this year. Like
Yeah.
they are so bad. They have nothing going for them.
No.
And if they get Caleb Williams, it's like the franchise is rejuvenated. Like he is the heir apparent to Patrick Mahomes from the majority of people's perspectives.
Yeah.
And this division, I mean, they have the 49. They know they're not going to make the playoffs or win the division. They know that. So this is one of those teams I think can really go for the first overall pick, and they just tank. So I'm big bet. One of my biggest bets is Cardinals under 4.5 wins. I am just all over this bet. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm over. I'm over this 4.5 wins. They play 8 teams this year that had a worse than 500 record. I think Kyler Murray. I think they would have traded Kyler Murray this year if they were just like completely like screw it. But I think he's gonna come in and just say "f it" to everyone and just ball out. They still have Connor. They have a pretty good defense, and last year they had 6 losses by 1 score. So like, I could see them winning 5. Just besides the Niners sweeping them, Seahawks. I mean the Rams. They can easily win a couple. I think 5. I think they actually. I'm not gonna bet it, but I think they can win 5 games. 5 games.
So you think they could get half a game over the line?
Yeah, but if I'm gonna lean on the side, I'll do over.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like someone said earlier. I think it was you, Tyler, that you said they have to put it at like something kind of attainable, because if it was 3.5 or like 2.5 or 3.5, people would be like, okay, they're an NFL team. They got to find a way to win 4 games. But 4.5, they're really reaching, and they're maybe trying to trick people or whatever. I have them winning 2 games, maybe.
Yeah,
this team is bad.
Yep, I'm with you on
I mean, Kyler Murray. He's not good.
He's not a starter in the NFL.
Not anymore.
No, he's
Not anymore.
I can't wait to go.
Kyler Murray is not.
Mike.
Mike, go ahead.
I have 2 words. They suck. Under.
Under.
Yeah.
That's 3.
That's the analysis.
Well,
I like it.
yeah. They suck.
They suck under.
They suck.
2 words. Quick 2 words from Mike. They suck. Under. Mario.
I don't know if people forgot, but I mean, Kyler Murray got hurt at the end of last season. He's not practiced once. I mean, he's still recovering from surgery.
Not great before
He's right now, like as of yesterday, the latest report is he's a long shot to even be healthy at the beginning of the season. I doubt he's even going to play. I think from the Cardinals' perspective, you tank, you get the top pick, you trade Kyler Murray for another top pick, and then you set your team up to shoot off next season. There's absolutely 0% chance to go over 4.5 wins.
Yeah, I
So,
agree completely. This is a
100%.
Caleb Williams
the
season.
0% chance.
I mean,
So we have 4 strong unders and Orion. They could get the over. So
going over with the backup couldn't even throw it 40 yards in the
Yeah.
practice videos I was watching. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Where's Colt McCoy?
That's a good
I
question.
think he's still there.
Is he still there?
That's a question I don't think many people are asking.
They're not chilling.
Bing, bang, boom.
They're not chilling with
Yeah.
that. All right. So we're 4-1 to the over on the Cardinals. Moving to Mike's team. Mike, we're going to start with you. Rams at 6.5 wins, plus 110 on that number. They were 5 wins last year. How do you feel?
This is a homer bet. I'm always going to go over. I'm going to bet the Rams over. Okay, obviously, not always, but pretty much every year.
You go against
Always.
you go against your bias. Like you were saying earlier, you like to fade yourself.
Yeah.
You got to bet the Rams.
He's speaking nonsense. Anyways,
Yeah.
whatever.
Regurgitating
People
his
might,
words to himself.
Yeah, people
Nonsense.
people might have thought that Cooper Kupp was hurt. He may be hurt, but he was also seen working out with strength and conditioning coaches today, which is Tuesday.
You're
He's
watching
gonna
As
come
every
back.
NFL player probably does. Like,
That's good. It's good. No,
No,
that's good.
I mean if you have a serious hamstring injury and the first initial thought was that he was going to be out for a couple of weeks, yeah, it's good to see him working out with strength and conditioning coaches on the sideline.
but what, like, but I'm,
Anyways,
What's the alternative?
yeah, what?
him resting, sitting out, doing
Was he doing hamstring exercises?
I don't know what he was doing.
Was he just walking?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
what's
just-
considered
hey.
working out?
Walking on the street.
Was he
like,
talking
what's
to
up?
him? Was he
I
hanging out?
read.
Was he bench
reports.
He read an article.
I read a report.
Oh,
last
week.
I
Where
read
was
a
it published?
report.
Where was it published?
My sources.
He is special.
I have sources.
He didn't read
He
nothing.
doesn't like to give the sources.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to
He
steal.
doesn't want to. It was a compromise.
Yeah.
It's Stu. It's Stu, the source finder.
Okay, you did not hear that from Stu.
All right, I might have.
So you're
But-
going over.
Yeah, we're not a bad team. Over.
All right, Mario.
We're not a bad team. Over. Dude, this one's really close. I'm gonna lean on the over, but I'm not gonna bet this. I'm just gonna put him at 7 wins, simply because I think Sean McVay is a good coach, and I think if Stafford and Kupp are healthy the whole season, I had them. I was bouncing back between 6 and 7 wins. I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt just because I've seen them win before. I'm going to put them at 7 wins, slide over, but don't love this bet. There's a reason why it's plus money to go over 6.5. So, yeah, hopefully that Cooper Kupp MRI on the hamstring we'll learn more about.
Yeah.
So,
Tate.
I like the over, but not by a whole lot. I kind of have a cracked out win here. I was just listing through. I have it at 9 and 8. I don't think that's super realistic, but I do actually like the Rams. I think I'm betting on Sean McVay and that offense any day of the week.
Yeah.
But obviously health concerns everywhere.
9 and
so-
8. That's a bit over the 6.5.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's quite
so
a bit
3-0
over.
on the over. Ryan.
Yeah, I'm also over. Their schedule is super easy. I mean, it's the Rams. They got.
Okay.
Where is this coming from?
Just interrupt.
They're gonna get every player back, Stafford back healthy. I think their problem was just health. If Donald played this year, I just think they're too good. They were a Super Bowl team 2 years ago. All they lost was Ramsey. I think they're for 6.5. I think they'll get 8 wins.
Yeah, I am big over on this. So that is consensus 5-0 to the over. I know some of us were close on that line.
Boing.
Yeah, another 5-0, another consensus. I really think they do well this year. Also, that piggybacks, or I think it's helped them a lot that the Cardinals are in this division. That's 2 free wins.
That is true.
And
That is true.
you'll
Two
see-
free wins for
that
every
is
team,
true.
though.
You'll see what I
That's
think
true.
about another team in the division coming up. But yeah, Rams, I think, go way over the 6.5 here.
Want to make $100 bets? Anybody that
That what?
the Cardinals
they're-
get a win in the division?
I mean, they could get.
Oh, I thought
They
it
can
was
get
saying-
8
That could be their one win. Like,
Yeah,
we don't
maybe
know.
maybe they get 1 win against the Seahawks.
I mean, the Rams have no defense, and maybe the backup goes off.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe they sweep.
5-0 on the Rams over 49ers now. The obvious top dogs in the NFC West. Their number's at 10.5. This is minus 140 though, so I'm sure you can find some 11.5
This
numbers
is my biggest bet.
as well. Biggest bet?
This is my biggest bet for a
Take it away.
over and under. I'm absolutely nuking the over. I mean, they have the 5th easiest strength of schedule this year. Their team is absolutely stacked. Their offense, I mean, honestly, it doesn't even matter who their quarterback is at this point. Everyone else is so good. Get the ball in one of their hands, i.e. Christian McCaffrey. Let him do his work, and yeah, I mean they're winning.
So
That-
Michael,
over,
one of your
over.
biggest bets over Mario.
Over.
Yeah, I also love this over. Like Mike said, the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL. I think they also probably, like them and the Eagles, you could argue, have like the 2 best just complete teams.
Yeah.
Every position, they have an all-pro caliber person.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, besides like maybe quarterback, Brock Purdy, I mean, hey, his only loss is in the NFC Championship, which he got injured in the first quarter and couldn't
Yeah,
even play.
I don't even know if you can count that.
So
as
it's like
losses.
really the dude's never really lost. So I don't know. I'm gonna take this over.
Yeah, this is my all caps mortgage the house
Yep.
Yeah.
over.
Yep.
I think they win 15 games this year. They're the clear number 1 seed in the NFC.
They would
This
be
is-
I think the highest odds to go if you had to pick a team to go undefeated.
Yeah.
I would put my money on the 49ers.
Yeah,
I am.
sure.
49ers.
They have the schedule to
all
do
in
it.
49ers division winner. Everything on the over on the win totals. I love them to go to the Super Bowl. They are everything. They're the best all around team in the NFL. The Chiefs are
100%.
better and win games in the playoffs because of Patrick Mahomes. If you take away the quarterback position, which they don't even have a bad quarterback, Brock Purdy, like Mario said, never lost a game. He's played the entire game. But if you just take away the quarterback position, their offense and their entire defense, the best 1-2 combo in the entire NFL. It's not even close. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I love this number so much. This is heavy over. Like, max bet over. I would
Yep.
not bet anything else just to bet this over. If I had to pick one line.
Yeah, find any company that'll give you a good credit line. Take out a credit card, put everything you can on it.
Yeah.
Easy over.
Yeah, week one or two, we did our favorite future bets. This was my favorite, and it's still my favorite. It's absolutely a new play.
5-0, baby. 49ers over.
5-0, and these are all
But that's the
massive
new.
bets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
this
love
might be
that.
like
This
the-
Yeah,
is
this
so-
is ours.
This
This is like the make it
this
go
is-
whale.
Like this is like the Trinity test, you know. Like, this is Los Alamos. We're
No, this is gonna
cooking up a
be
nuke over
an
here.
all-in
Yeah.
number. I would love to see them go undefeated this regular season. That'd be electric.
Same.
Last team in the division that we haven't hit on, the Seahawks. Their number's at 8.5 minus 142. I'm sure you can probably find this number at 9 also around even money. Last year they were 9-8, so nothing's really changed on the movement. I'll go ahead. I can see this going either way. I don't think they're very good. I think they're borderline playoff team, like bottom of the wild card.
So like same as last year.
Yeah, same as last year. I mean, like, I have the division winners, and then you got to look. I have the Cowboys as the number 1 in the wild card, and then I think there's a couple teams in the other divisions, like we talked about, that could make a commanding case for, like, the Giants and, like, a team in a division we haven't talked about yet. But that could make a case to be the last couple wildcard teams. I think Seahawks are right on the fringe. So I'm actually leaning under. I see 8 or 9 wins on this 8.5 number, but I'm not going to bet this, but if I had to, under.
Yeah, this is my team. This is my dark horse
Yeah.
team. I love the Seahawks. I think just watching an offense, I'll always bet on offenses. That's why I love the Dolphins. You know, like I'll bet on offenses. I think they're going to score so many points, and their defense is young and got a lot better. I just think they're just going to – they went all in on Geno. They picked a wide receiver. They said this offense – they picked a rookie running back 2 years ago, wide receiver this year. They're going all in on the fact that they want to score. And behind Geno, I love this offense this year. I think this number's criminal. This is going to be one of my biggest bets. They did it last year. They only got better. I love it.
How many
Actual question: how was their defense last year?
Good. They're just young, so they're good. I think they were like
They're like mid.
middle, like 12th to 15th, but like
Yeah,
they're
they're
young
like
and they're
average,
getting better.
yeah.
Yeah, like they're gonna
They have
get.
a good corner. And
Yeah, they're gonna get better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're yeah.
What's
not
your
like a leader.
win number you have them at? If you love the 8.5.
I have them winning 10 to
11.
11 games. I just think only thing is San Francisco in that division is just too tough, and I think there's a good chance San Fran sweeps them. So like that's why I got to give it 10 or 11.
Okay, Tate.
I actually really like the Seahawks as well, but it actually pained me to look and go through their schedule. I actually ended up on the under by 1 game, and I don't like it. I'm not going to be betting this line because I actually want them to go over, but I'm going to settle at the under of 8 and 9.
All right, Mike.
I'm pretty much right with Tate. I actually am a big fan of Kenneth Walker. I want to see him succeed. But again, I think the schedule is just too tough, and I'm barely on the under.
All right, Arya.
I mean, for me, they had the 10th easiest schedule, so I was like, well, it's not that hard of a schedule.
It's too tough.
Well,
It's tough enough.
I mean, Mike took
It's
a look
tough
at it.
enough. It's tough
Oh
enough.
my
I said it was
God.
They
tough.
play some
It's,
NFL teams.
it's
Yeah,
tough
they play-
enough.
They have some games next year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they play San Francisco twice. That's tough.
Those are 2 losses. Yeah.
That's what makes it the 10th.
Honestly, I have them when I went through their schedule. I had them at 9 and 8, so I'm just gonna lean on the over. I think they'll probably be the same as last season. I don't think last season was a fluke as far as like how Geno played. I think I think he's just a solid player and he has a good system. And like Ryan said, he has some good receivers. They got JSN, who I mean, I don't think he's gonna be like all that great his rookie year, but once Lockett leaves and gets a more defined role.
Yeah, their trio.
Something could happen.
But their
wide receiver
trio-
Their
is really
offense might be like, it's like up there as a whole as one of the best.
As far as weapons, yeah, I mean, you got 3 good receivers and you got Kenneth Walker in the back. So I don't know, they're a good team and they have some young players on defense. Tariq Woolen is a stud. They have some
Diggs.
good, Quandre Diggs. So
Some dogs.
yeah, I think they win 9 games and I'm gonna
Okay,
lean
so
over.
we're split 3-2 on that one. Out of the NFC West, though, we have 3 bets that'll be added to the card. 2 consensus, the Rams over and the 49ers all in over. And we are also
4-1 on
4-1
the
to the Cardinals.
Yep.
So
Big division.
big division for us.
division.
We got a lot of
Lots
money
of
on
money
this.
on that.
We now are on to our last 4 teams out of the 32 in the NFL. This has been a grind, but it's been worth it. We found some bets that we absolutely love. The NFC South, they have a lot of changes in this division this year. I
love to
think
start
this
this
division is wide open, but we're going to kick it off with the Falcons, tied for the biggest win total number in the division. Let's go ahead and start with Mike, the Bijan Robinson fan club, carrying card member. Last year they won 7 games. How many do you think they win this year?
They have the second easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yep.
And they have Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
Their number is at 8.5, but they're gonna get 10 wins.
10-win team.
What the math ain't math.
Yep.
Obviously it's an over.
over.
Bijan to the promised land.
Math is not
Running
math.
back 3 on the team. Yeah.
Bijan to the promised land. That is again all a dupe, all a decoy to get suckers like you.
Ooh.
Suckers like you to get
Fire.
I'm also
Shots
surprised you probably heard it because you can't read it. So
Oh! Pull it up. Last week, Michael said Ryan can't read. Pull it up right here. Ooh. You didn't even want the money line.
electric.
That spread,
I love it.
That spread's going to be huge. Ryan just locked in way too much. He can hedge out $50.
I can't lose. And I'm illiterate.
It's because Ryan can't read.
I can't read, so I don't know how to.
Mike's just gonna print 350. He's
Mike's going to
print-
write the bet down, but is anticipating after the game Ryan won't be able to read what they bet. So he's just like,
he's dyslexic.
But okay, so you're, You just saw he can't read. Michael again bringing that back.
Can't read.
Apparently,
All those notes, he's not
Ryan's
reading it.
dyslexic.
he might have memorized.
It's all in
the notes.
braille.
I can't
It's
read,
all
but
in
I can
braille.
He
still
voice
read
commanded
like,
him.
Ooh.
every
He
year.
voice commanded
We're
him.
getting
all.
hot
I
towards
do.
the end
I
of the
say,
podcast.
hey Siri, Venmo request Michael Youn for every bet.
Oh
every week.
yeah.
Woo! It's hot. Mario, Falcons, over under 8.5.
Okay. I have the under.
Logic, smart, brain.
The thing is, I don't know if it's because everyone on planet Earth right now is all over the Falcons and everyone loves this over, and maybe that's just what I'm hearing, but they are starting to scare me. I was way under. Now I'm thinking they might get a little bit close to this. Not way close, maybe like 6 or 7 wins, but
He'll keep nudging.
a little closer than comfort for
Yeah.
me on this 8.5. So I don't fully believe the hype, but they are starting to scare me. I'm hearing a lot of things, but Kyle Pitts might be,
I'm hearing he looks good.
I'm hearing he looks good. I'm hearing Drake London all of a sudden's catching the ball, not dropping it. I'm hearing Bijan Robinson's,
Just
Desmond
the
Ritter.
second
Keep
coming,
hopping
yeah.
with your hacky sack all the way
Desmond
on
Ritter
over.
apparently throws a tight spiral, so I don't know.
So did
tight.
DJ.
And they have the second easiest schedule.
Yeah.
A lot of
That is
teams.
actually true.
So you're going
This,
under.
this
That's
division
fact.
has a lot of easy schedules,
Yeah.
but
Them and
yeah,
the Saints,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go under.
Okay. I actually had on my notes exactly what Michael said 5 times, Bijan to the promised land. This number makes no sense. It should be an easy under. Like everyone knows it's an under. But because of how it doesn't make sense
Yep.
and because of how I'm very off of a few teams in the division, Bijan to the promised land, give me the over on the Falcons.
Bang.
This is just ridiculous. This is such an easy under.
All right,
Yeah, I mean they're not winning 9
They're
games.
not winning 9 games. I mean,
You're right, they might be 10.
they're 100. They're just gonna stack the box if Bijan is any decides to change games. All you do is stack the box. And
They can't stop him. Can't stop, won't stop.
Desmond Ritter's not gonna do anything. Like Michael has no logic to his argument, and maybe
Except the fact that Bijan has a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and is perspected to do
Perspective.
he is. You're right. I can't read. He's perspected.
He's perspective.
He's perspected.
He is
to play ball.
projected
No,
to
you're
do
right.
great things.
You're right. But this is just an easy under, all in. It's going to be my biggest bet. Just absolute hammer. Desmond Ritter's not him. Mariota carried this team a lot. People forget, he put him in close games because...
Least accurate quarterback, though.
No, but veteran players know how to keep it in games. It's the same thing with, Tannehill or, Carr.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And with Desmond Ritter, he's not good enough, and he's going to be terrible.
All right, Tate.
Well, let's do a little comparison here, and we're gonna go to the Colts and Jonathan Taylor, who had one of the best years in fantasy football. He's RB1, and then we're gonna go. We have similar hype around Bijan Robinson here, and
He's better than JT, but okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, well,
I'm confused.
last year JT had a quarterback who, multiple quarterbacks that could not do anything with the football at all.
He also didn't
And
play, though. JT didn't play.
Okay, but when he did play, they stacked the box on
played
every
enough.
single down, and he did not move the ball at all. It was painful.
Fair.
And
Stack the box.
you're telling. I personally, this is kind of rough. Desmond Ritter's not better than Matt Ryan.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
he is.
I'm better than Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan was the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Matt Ryan's the worst human alive.
Desmond Ritter is better than Matt Ryan. 100%. I don't think Desmond Ritter is great, but we watched what Matt Ryan did.
I think Bo Nix
Desmond
right
Ritter
now is better
might
than Matt
be
Ryan.
Agreed.
He's not a top 25 quarterback.
Agreed.
He's
He's
top.
starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's 34th or something.
And Matt Ryan's 45.
Oh,
I don't
that's
like the Matt
that's
Ryan.
generous.
I don't
Okay,
like
but a
That's
QB
generous.
who's not in the top 30 is not
Gonna
going to
win
win you
500.
9 games.
So that means you are on the
Easy under.
easy under. All right, so we're split 3-2 on this. Mike and I are the only Falcons.
Mike and Mike.
I
Believers.
can't believe
That's absurd.
we lost Tyler.
I know, literally.
I know. We this should have been on the
But I
card.
enjoy him using the mic logic now.
No.
Don't make any sense, and then just put it.
This
Guess
is
the number. Close your eyes.
It's one of those things that looks too good to be
Yeah,
true.
you don't-
You're fading your gut. You're pulling.
I'm
a
not
mic.
fading my
No,
gut.
you
This was,
just don't.
I
You
gave
don't
this out
fall
earlier.
for the traps.
I gave this out earlier in
But
the year.
you
What
It's like if
you
you're
bet the
walking,
Bears under 7.5,
if you're
which makes
walking
it good
in
to
a
be
jungle
true
in
if you have a
Vietnam
Yeah.
and you see a patch of leaves, you don't step over them. You step
my God.
around
Wait,
them.
no, your logic for the Bears is backwards there. The Bears number is too high, and I was like, that's the under. This number.
But you would put it at 3.5. Same thing as why you would put.
No. I'm
this-
saying
you'd
the
put
Bears.
Falcons at
But no, but you
5.5.
have a lot of people like people are betting the Bears over. Like people
People
like
are hammering the Falcons over. It's like one of the biggest
no, but no
bets.
one thinks the Falcons are like that strong of a
Have you
team.
not been hearing like all I've
No.
heard is Falcons are going to win 10 games, like win the division. and win 10
No,
games.
no
All
one.
of it.
No. This number,
of it.
everyone's gonna go end up on the under here. We'll see where the money ends up at the end of the year, but
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if the majority of the money's on the over here on the Falcons. The Panthers, the team that got the number 1 pick in the NFL draft with Bryce Young, they are at 7.5 wins for next year at -120. They won 7 games last year, so they have them a half game above where they were last year with the number 1 pick. I kind of want to go last year. Mario, what do you think about this team?
I have them going under. I don't see them doing better than last season with 7-10. I like Bryce Young, and I think he's going to be good. I just think I kind of said this earlier with like Anthony Richardson and other rookie QBs. I just kind of like avoiding the over. I think more often than not, it's always going to be under, and they need to kind of figure it out. I mean, they have some receivers like Adam Thielen's a little washed. Terrace Marshall, at best, is like a wide receiver 3. I mean, DJ Chark, I don't know. And then Miles Sanders, I'm not big on. So like, I'm not big on the offense scoring a lot of points. I know the defense is young and they have potential, but
they could be good.
I just think it is kind of like a building year for them. And then I think next season will probably be when they start winning.
Okay, so you're
games.
under that 7.5 number, Mike.
Yeah.
I am barely over, just based off their schedule.
Yeah,
but
fourth
again,
easiest.
I can be very easily swayed to go under. But again, just based off their schedule, I'm gonna go over.
Gotcha. Ryan,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go last.
This is an easy under. I mean, you're giving a team 3 months pretty much at every position on offense to come together.
Yeah.
And that's not even just a rookie quarterback coming into any offense being good. You give a brand new wide receiving core, everyone left.
Yeah.
You have a brand new running back. They got rid of 2 offensive linemen, and you're bringing in Bryce Young. Like, it's just impossible to win 8 games when you're meeting the people
NFL's
for the
too
first time.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
the NFL's too good to have any mistakes. They're not going to be. You can't do the Aaron Rodgers thing where you just go like this and they know exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be.
It's a building year for
It is
them.
a building year. I don't need a tank or anything, but I think 4 to 5 wins is very going to be it this year.
Yeah.
Tate?
I had him at 6.
I have them at a generous, 6-11. I actually don't think there's any way they go over. I think it's too hard. They have no. I don't think they have any offensive weapons. And like Ryan said, I mean, they have 3 months to get chemistry between that offense, and it's just not going to work.
Gotcha. So I actually have the Panthers way over here.
Oh gosh.
I even have them as my sneaky pick to win the division. I think when you break down this division, one of the least, when you take the total projected wins for the entire division, one of the worst divisions in the NFL. It's either the worst or the second worst. The Panthers have one of the easiest schedules in the entire NFL. I think it's ranked like
Fourth easiest.
fourth. I looked at it. I didn't see many that were actually that much easier, in my opinion.
Falcons and Saints.
Yeah, I mean, this whole division has easy schedules, but their defense is young, and I think actually going to surprise a lot of people is going to be good. I don't hate Miles Sanders at running back. He's not great, but he's fine.
That's how I feel.
And they have the number 1 pick in the draft, Bryce Young at quarterback. I don't think he's going to be spectacular, but I
He'll be good
see
enough.
I see a legitimate argument for him being the best quarterback in this division. And I get Derek Carr is a veteran, and everyone has him at like whatever it is, your QB 15 in the NFL. He's right around like average, and he's passable. But if he's just if he's just average or not as good as he was prior, and Bryce Young really comes out firing, he has everything lined up to be good this year. I get the wide receivers aren't great. He has a couple playmakers that could work around. But easy schedule, easy division, good defense, and a young team, I think can surprise some people and win some games. So I'm usually not all over rookie quarterbacks. But yeah, I see them winning 9 or 10 games and definitely in the wild card,
That's crazy.
maybe winning the division.
Wow.
That's kind of why I want to go last.
It's
I
a
had a
lot
feeling
more,
I would
but-
be the only one like on the Panthers like this, but I'm very much so on the Panthers. But I think we were split there. I think we were split 3 and 2. I
Yeah,
think you were on the
yeah.
over and under.
Yeah, I was scratching the
I
surface.
like your
though,
2
but-
brains. So I like the last couple times.
Yeah, it scares me a bit. But
Yeah.
moving on to
I got it.
Mario's team, the New Orleans Saints, 8.5 wins, minus 150 though. So I'm sure you can get this at
Disrespectful.
maybe 9.5.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this number?
I love 8.5. I'm going way over. I think Derek Carr is better than Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's better by like a wide stretch, but I think he's definitely an improvement. He's just a more competent quarterback.
Yeah.
And we have Michael Thomas is healthy. Alvin Kamara's only out 3 games. Like they slap on the wrist.
Yep.
Like I love it.
Yeah, Williams, anyways.
And we have
A lot of running backs.
and we have Olave, and we have a good defense. I think we have the best defense in this league, in this division, without a doubt. So, and Dennis Allen, an extra year, kind of figure out the team. I think we go over.
All right, Mike.
They have the easiest schedule
Yeah.
in the entire league.
Yep, number
They
1.
have the personnel to do it. They're gonna go over.
Yeah,
It's over.
I'm with you there. Over. I think they get 9 or 10 wins. They compete with the Panthers for division winner. If not, they're gonna be in the wild card.
Yeah, I love this over so much. My hot take is that they will finish with a top 5 wide receiver duo with Olave and Michael Thomas. I think
Wow.
Michael Thomas comes out the
Wow.
gate this year, comes back, and I think Olave is really, really good.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, you
And
think
also-
Olave jumps that high?
Derek Carr.
Well, he said top
Derek
5
Carr-
duo.
Derek Carr is not a great quarterback, but what he is in top 5 is deep ball passing, and Olave is one of the best deep ball
Deep
routes
threats, yeah.
in the league.
And Derek Carr throws the ball a lot.
So he throws the ball a lot.
Mentioned
deep.
that earlier.
I love that.
35 times a game.
Yeah.
Tate.
I'll complete it. Over.
Everyone on the over. Bang. 5-0. There we go.
Bing bang bing bing.
Last team in the division, the Buccaneers, 6.5 wins. That's plus money though. You're getting plus 120 there, so you might see some lines go towards 5.5 wins or maybe even 6. This team won 8 games last year, but they lost a pretty important piece of the
Lost
puzzle.
Tom Brady.
Bye-bye,
Lost Tom
Tom.
Brady. They now have Baker Mayfield at quarterback and
We'll see you in Las Vegas.
maybe Kyle Trask. Yeah.
My note verbatim, not Baker under.
Okay. I think we might have a consensus here because
Yeah.
this team is terrible. We can just say it on 3. We can try this again this time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Under.
What was that?
Over.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So
Gross.
first off, we're talking about the division. The division is so bad. I think it's one of the worst in the entire league. 1 and 2. People forget that the Bucs still have their front 7 on defense is still probably top 5 in the league, and I think that by itself is going to win them 7 games. Like their defense in that division, every year defense keeps you in games. Like even when the Bucs were great, even when Saints were bad and the Bucs were great, like 2 years ago when the Bucs were going to the Super Bowl, the Saints would sweep them. Straight up because of their defense.
Yeah.
They would stop Tom Brady. Tom Brady would give up 6 points every
We
other
also
game.
had a good offense too, though.
Who?
When we would beat the Bucks.
You guys wouldn't make the playoffs, and they would go to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. You weren't good, but you'd find a way because that division defenses do it. Same thing with Carolina. I just think this defense is going to hold up, and I just think their offense, like, even if Kyle Trask doesn't have a chance and Baker comes in 7 games, Baker looked good as a Rams. He came back and slang it with the Rams, and like their offense is better than the Rams. So
Apparently, the reports out of camp are Baker's not doing too hot.
Yeah, I heard.
no,
a
I
lot
don't
of
think he's
Kyle
good at
Trask.
by any chance.
And also, I'm just gonna say they had this exact same front with Jameis Winston before they got Tom Brady,
Yeah.
and they were not winning many games. The Saints, we were winning games, but we also had some playmakers on offense, and we had Sean Payton, who I think is just a good coach and knows how to scheme well.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going under.
Okay. I think everyone else said under.
Under, so 4-1.
All right. Yeah, 4-1 there. That'll be on the card as under, but we
Let's
made
go.
it. That wraps it
That's
up.
crazy.
Congrats. And that'll do it. That wraps it up. We made it through all 32 teams. Quite the accomplishment.
Yeah.
That was a grind, but
Crazy.
It was fun.
We found some.
we had
yeah,
fun.
that was really fun.
There's
We
going to be a
found
lot of money to be put.
we found a lot of bets.
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah,
we
we did.
like.
More
We
than
had-
we
yeah.
probably thought.
Yeah,
more than
we
I-
had 8 like 5-0 consensus bets, and then we had 11 that we were 4-1 on. So we have a huge card.
That is a big
And
one.
I'll read that out. We'll give it to you right now. We'll throw it up on the screen so you can follow along. Our 5-0 bets that we are consensus on in agreement at DJ Hours are Patriots under 7.5 wins,
Love it.
plus 115.
Love that.
Ravens over 9.5 wins, minus 150. Chiefs over 11.5, minus 125. Eagles over 11.5, plus 120. Commanders under 6.5,
Yep.
plus 110.
That's obvious.
Rams over 6.5, plus 110. 49ers over 10.5,
The rent.
minus
yeah,
140
all the
all in max play, our favorite
the
bet
money.
of the entire slate.
By a
And the
mile.
last one we were in consensus was Saints over 8.5, minus 150.
Minimum $1,000
Who
bet.
dat, baby?
Yeah, those are going to be max plays. Our bets that we have strong leans to. So we were 4-1, 4 of us in agreement, 1 not in agreement. Bills over 10.5, minus 135. Steelers over 8.5, minus 150. All reliable right there. Raiders under 6.5, plus 110.
Yep.
Chargers under 9.5, minus 110. Colts under 6.5, minus 115. Titans over 7.5, plus 115. Yikes. Cowboys over 9.5, minus 150. Packers under 7.5, minus 105.
Jordan Love, baby.
The Vikings over 8.5, minus 120.
Another.
Cardinals under 4.5, plus 100. Surprised you weren't
Go
consensus on that. And last and also maybe least, the Bucks under 6.5.
Yeah.
At plus 120.
Over.
Under.
That's a whole lot of bets.
That's a lot of bets.
Yeah,
That is
you're welcome.
beauty.
Thank
That
us
is
later.
beauty.
Thank us later.
We just did all the hard work over 2.5 hours of grinding through these on camera, and then we did a bunch of background research before this. But these are the bets we will be hammering as a group going into the season.
Oh yeah.
We were looking forward to this for a while, boys.
Yeah. Football's
This is
almost
a
here, guys.
fun
Come
one.
on.
We
We're so
knocked it out.
close.
This
we're-
was a fun
We're
one.
getting fully into football, and we're going to be continuing that next week, actually, with the mock draft special. We're going to be doing a 10-round mock draft live at our actual positions that we are in our 12-team half PPR fantasy league. So if you enjoyed this, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. We really enjoy doing these long, drawn-out specials. It's getting us very dialed in to be able to give you the best possible picks going into football season. But that's going to wrap it up here. We gave you a card of 19 bets. So go ahead, pick your favorite ones. Let us know in the comments. But go ahead and, slide some chips in the middle of the table.
Put some money.
Let's get some action in here.
A little blood flow.
We'll see you next week. Tell the people what they should do.
Right below this video, there's a couple buttons you can click on. That's like, subscribe, comment,